Seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
How dare you!
Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore, your morning dose of creative conversation and coffee with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. Get ready to start your day off right.
And good morning, everyone. How the heck are you? Welcome to the Monday, August 2nd, 2021 episode of Nevermind the Furthermore with me, Brian K. Morris. How the heck are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. I sure did. It was exhausting. I'm about wrung out, even now. But it was a lot of fun. Got to see a lot of friends. We were at the annual Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois. Yes, there is a Metropolis. It is the only Metropolis inside the zip code directory. But we'll talk more about that after we talk about some people we also love. Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics. You need to get in touch with these guys because Plasma Fire Graphics is where you go when the look of your book matters to you. Did you see all those gorgeous books? Did you admire that trailer? Well, Jeffrey Hayes can do that kind of work for you. He can also create graphics that'll help you sell your product on social media, your books, etc. Also, he did the cover for my latest release, Snow Ambition, #4 in the Snow Short series, an Abraham Snow adventure, a quick read crime thriller by me, Brian K. Morris. But isn't that a powerful cover? That's the sort of work Jeffrey does, and he can do that for you at very, very, very affordable prices. That's Plasma Fire Graphics on Facebook, plasmafiregraphics.com, when the look of your book matters to you. All right, and people that also matter to us are our Patreon subscribers. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators directly, and these are the wonderful people who help keep this show growing, as well as all of you. But these guys pitch in with a little bit of money, excuse me, every month, so that we can afford the StreamYard bill. We can afford save up to get some little add-ons here that might make the show look and sound a little better. Sorry, we can't do much about the host. But anyway, these guys and gals also get, in return for their patronage, a whole bunch of stuff that's really awesome. And sneak peeks at works in progress, news before a lot of other people get it. So check us out at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and see what we offer for you. Also offering you, we are doing this via the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Thank you to our fellow supporters, like-minded people who are rowing in the same direction. And I'm the only thing on today. Tomorrow morning, I think Ted Davies may be on with one of his TED Talks. I'm not sure. I know he'll tell us when we see him soon. And then tomorrow night at 8 p.m., will be myself back with Clever title pending. We're going to talk with comic book writer Charles Santino. And he used to work for Marvel Comics. Maybe you can get a tip on how you could break into the big leagues or promote your your current indie book. So anyway, please check us out tomorrow night. It's always a great time with our guests, and we hope you'll bring your questions, because it wouldn't be nothing without you guys and gals. So yeah, we went to the Superman celebration, and the guests were Nicole Tom, who is a voice actor. Generally does Supergirl in a lot of the DC animated things. Kay Callan, who played Martha Kent in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. Then Elin Mitchell Smith, who was in the movie Weird Science, also played in the Adventures of Superboy TV series, and also Stacey Haydock, who was also in that latter series as Lana Lang. A beautiful, beautiful lady, and intelligent, fun, terrific actress too. But we had to have something signed. We normally don't go in and get things signed, but this was special. When we first started going to the celebration in 1999, the first guest there was Gerard Christopher, and we got his photo back then too. Well, then we also got, I'm trying to cut down the glare. We kept this photo for years, of course, because it's awesome. And Stacy signed this yesterday, bringing it full circle. And no, she didn't draw horns on Gerard's head. I told her she could, though. She could do anything. So anyway, as I was telling people, in my life, at the Superman celebration, I have been hugged by Julie Newmar, and now Stacey Haydock. I can die now. My life is pretty much complete. Ran into a friend of mine. Let's see. Let me make sure he's in here. Make sure I got the right one. But yeah, we got some books here, a whole bunch of books that we picked up. Let's see here. Make sure I got everything right here. Yeah, I'm looking, I'm just making sure. And anyway, we've got some poetry in here. We've got a couple books from Paul Warren. He gave us these books yesterday, or on Saturday. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm still a little fuzzy from the weekend, but that was wonderful. And we also had Sean Delaney was there, and he fulfilled his Kickstarter pledge to me. Drea, this is a really good book. You ought to contact Sean Delaney and get with him and get that book into your hands. And then we had the auction, and I won a couple things from my good friend Ken Bailey. The Mighty Energy Girl, which is a wonderful, wonderful comic book that he produces. And he was kind enough, I didn't ask him to, but he was kind enough to do a sketch inside the cover of Energy Girl. Thank you very much, Ken. You are so amazing. You really are. You're great talent. I also wanted a Blu-ray of the Serial Squadron Presents The Fighting Devil Dogs with Lee Powell and Herman Bricks. I love the old serials. I am so looking forward to this. I don't see anyone else here I recognize. So but that's going to be a fun watch later today. And of course, I came home to discover, I should probably wait till she's here. I don't know if she's here or not, but I got my copy of Animal Eye #1 by Cindy Kep, and it's a great read. It really is. See like an animal in a virtual world. It's about some gamers who are in a VR environment where they play various animals. It's a kind of like a reverse anthropomorphic kind of thing. But you can also get a lot of cool stuff via their Etsy shop if you missed out on some of the thank yous. You might even be able to get the comic. But you can get the comic maybe from bearpublications.com. But it's a super, super book. And I'm so proud of Cindy for getting that done. And thank you to everyone. I was a little shocked with Friday's episode that absolutely no one on Friday's episode where we pre-recorded it gave it a like on Facebook. I was a little annoyed with that. So thank you to everyone who did put a thank you on that. And also, folks, I want to remind you that if you're watching us on Facebook, please give the show a like. Also, please like your the page of your host, because it's, thank you to them for hosting us there, allowing us to put our show on their channel, like Kathy Jackson's Books, Love You, Kathy, or the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page, or the Rising Tide Publications page. Well, Excuse me, but let's see. But yeah, nobody put a like on that thing. It's like, but it's gonna happen every now and then because it's something that StreamYard has offered where we can pre-record stuff and then it like we can schedule it and it will run, which will help a lot of us. At least in the pay version. I don't know if it's in the free one, but we may have to talk about this, fellow broadcasters. But anyway, and last night I got to check on the StreamYard YouTube channel because they always have some sort of goodies coming up and down the road. I'm still waiting for Teams. But anyway, let's get to your comments here. And the first one is the Mighty Skunk Rocker at 9:35 from YouTube. Good morning, Evermorians. Okay. Today's weird random factoid is brought to you by Monday. That's right, Monday, the happiest day of the week. Oh, does it hurt when your nose grows, skunk? Anyway, actor Cheech Marin plays 3 different characters in From Dusk Till Dawn: the customs agent at the border, the barker outside of the bar, and the Gecko Brothers contact in Mexico. But enough about that. Speaking of things going horribly wrong, let's get back to the fact that it's Monday and 4 people called out today, and one of them got fired for it. Oh, crap. Oh, dear. Wow. So once again, this morning, everybody has to play musical routes, and I'm on a route that goes through a dead area with very little cell service, so I might not be able to tune in for the entire show. Skunk, we miss you already, brother. But I'll try to be here as much as I can. At any rate, I'm sure the show will go on fine without me. Barely, man. I'm going to have to sweat a little to make it work, but we'll do our best, Skunk. We can't let you down. And Donna Carly, mwah, saying hello to Skunk. And Carl Witzman says, sounds like Skunk Rocker is swamped today. I wonder if we'll get live BKM today. I don't know. Let me check with him. We'll get back to you on that one, Carl. And Ace Bonnie, good to see you here. My biggest fear is a serial killer brewing a fresh pot of coffee. Really? Do tell. Well, I'm trying to play Dead Rise and caffeinate people, kick Monday in the butt. That's right. That's a start where I'd like to kick it some mornings. And good morning to Ace there from Carl. And good morning, Carl. Make sure BKM behaves himself this morning. I doubt he will. I'm off to work. Well, we can write you a note, Ace. We can get you rescheduled so you can keep watching the show. And someone who we're always glad to see, just if only to know he's still alive. Good morning, my fellow Brian and Evermorians. I can't tell you how wonderful it felt to walk out of my house this morning to a crisp 64 degrees. Dear God, it's me, Margaret. Oh, more of that, please. There's a bigger reason for my love of cooler weather. Sure, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas are wonderful, but I can freaking breathe when it's cold. Yeah. Brian has severe asthma. Like if we could weaponize it, the Geneva Convention would probably want to have a say in it. But we're glad. Yeah, and I was thinking of you this morning when I woke up. Well, when we came home last night, and it was really nice, and we checked the weather for the next day, and it's like we've got the windows open today. I've got the window open here, so you're probably gonna hear garbage trucks all morning. It's I'm glad you're getting the benefit, especially last week when it was 103. And God bless Brian, he soldiered through. He soldiered through 103 degrees, and I think it's before the comfort index kicked in. And plus, he was under a smoke advisory because of the fires out west. So he had a pretty rough Thursday, and we're glad you're feeling better, Brian. We really are. That way the drinking game can continue, especially on Thursday nights for Comic Book Spectrum, where Brian and Eric Hawkins and Clyde Hall and I talk about comic books. We hope you'll join us then, because it's a fun show. Oh, I forgot one other thing. My good friend Chris Hale likes to leave these little tiles around Metropolis for people to find and treasure, and I've got one. This is my second one. This is the one he gave me today. It's the post pic to the Super Friends of Metropolis Facebook page. And then I've got one, I'm supposed to post pictures to it. But anyway, he knows how dense I am, so he knows that he has to basically put it in my hand before I notice. It's my second. My first one is this one. So anyway, thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone who attended the Saturday night auction to benefit the Massac Theater rejuvenation. We raised, I think, about $1,800. It was a pretty light affair because attendance obviously was low because it just wasn't the right time of year. It was hot. People didn't want to go out. But God bless the people who did. And thank you to everyone in Artist Alley for just being amazing. Going around the room, Todd, Molly, Jim, Christine, Amy, John, Matt, Kathy, Sean, John D. Trying to think maybe when I missed. Probably did. Oh, anyway, you guys were amazing. Made a lot of fun to be down there. Mama Wanda, as always, mwah. You and your honey, it always makes me happy to see you guys there. So anyway, Grant Laker comes in and says, hello, and Carl Witzman, good morning, Brian. Don't forget to like this video. Thank you, Carl Witzman. Thank you. I need the likes. Yeah, I found out that the likes help, and it's increasing our searchability. We are now up to 25% of our audience at one point or another during the broadcasts find us via a search. That they did a search and we popped up. So anyway, here, Teenage Moon Knight Productions, good morning to you from YouTube. Who has seen James Gunn's Suicide Squad? I haven't. It was a piece of garbage. I didn't know it was out yet. That's how far behind I am. So anyway, anyone wants to give an answer? Who's seen it? I like the trailers, so I guess I like the trailers, so I'm done with it. Anyway, Sarah, morning. About to head to apartment in Mattoon, but of course wanted to say hello. You'll be playing while on my passenger seat on the way. Ooh, darling. Hey, I'm sorry we couldn't get together yesterday, Sarah, but I hope you're feeling better today. And Brian Rodman, folks, the nebulizer's on its final stages of completion. I should be done this week, then final edits, and then off to the printer. Cool. And Teenage Mutant Knight Productions says, I can't believe that people like that terrible movie. It makes me lose hope. Well, different strokes for different folks, as we used to say back in the 60s. There's a lot of stuff I don't like. I don't care for certain Batman books that people hold iconic, like A Death in the Family. I don't care for, I really don't like, oh God, I'm blanking out. I'm really foggy this morning. Alan Moore, Dave Gibbons. It was ruined by the last page, and made it even worse. And how could we make it even worse? We'll make an animated film out of it. And shared, Ryan Permisson and the Historical Fencing Guild every Friday night at 8 p.m. Hope you're doing well this morning. Good morning, adventurous Nevermorians. Hope your weekend travels were fun and profitable. They were. Actually, they were. I actually had some people who knew I'd be down in Metropolis say, are you setting up? And I said, no. I'm going to be a tourist this year with Cookie. With her busted wing, we're glad she did. She would have been miserable just sitting behind the desk all day with me. So they said, well, would you bring they gave me a checklist of things to bring. And I'm like, yeah, we can do this thing. So we made a couple sales down there. That was nice. So anyway, up and away. Good morning. Is that you, Robin? Is that you? Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. And Brian Permisson, good to see you, sir. Happy Monday, Nevermorians. How are you? I'm doing well. That's what we like to hear. Check out the latest episode of the podcast, Talking Movies, at Anchor FM, the Nerdcast, episode 109. And hello, let's see. Hello, I am Teenage Moon Knight Productions. I am a fan of my life as a teenage robot in Moon Knight and comics and movies. Well, good for you. We do a show on Thursday nights, and Eric Hawkins, one of our panelists, is a total Moon Knight freak, and he loves Moon Knight, and I do like Moon Knight too. I remember when he premiered. But anyway, we hope that your mechanical life is going well, and you're not one of those robots that's going to rise up and kill us in our sleep. And anyway, we like comics and movies too. We like talking about that stuff. Anyway, hope you like the show. Please subscribe and like on YouTube. It makes us happy. And Ryan Permisson says subscribe to that channel, the Nerd Culture channel, for great nerdy content. And Trish Bangston, glad you had fun. We did. Seriously, Trish, it's good to see you. It's a great time. One aspect of it, well, it was kind of fun this year because there was no crowds, and I liked that a lot, especially since Massac County is a hot spot right now for the Delta variant. But we were taking every precaution we could, believe me. But the thing is, we had a good time, and when I say it's a really family affair, it's a family environment. Despite what Sean Delaney was trying to do at the auction the other night. But we love you, Sean. But, it's like you can take a whole family there. And, a lot of the events are free to people. Now, yes, you do, like any other convention, have to pay for celebrity autographs, but the 4 celebrities I mentioned earlier, I guess you could just go up and talk to them if there was nobody in line. And I had Cookie and I had a good long time with Stacey Haydock. She's just absolutely charming and funny as hell. She's the one who's like, Stacey, can we go get a beer? Sort of thing. And I didn't get a chance to talk to Elin Mitchell Smith. I'm sorry to say. I saw Stacey and I kind of ignored the hell out of everyone in the room except Cookie, mostly because she was tugging on my collar. But anyway, but yeah, we had fun. But it's a great family environment, very family friendly. Most everything, the events and such, are free to the public, which is a beautiful thing. And like I said, you do have to pay for some celebrity stuff. There is a Superman museum, which is $8, the best $8 you can spend in the state of Illinois. Didn't get a chance to go through it this year, and I know Morgan has been doing a super job of fixing that place up. Oh, and plus we got to hang out with my oldest friend Mark Leonard on Friday and Saturday. That's always a great time because the two of us are total dorks when we hang out together. We were indulging in humor that you will not hear on this show. I will block myself from using it. But yeah, it was a good time, and I recommend anyone go down there. There's also a very large presence of independent comic books down there, so it's worth checking out. Ryan Permison says, in case you missed it, check out the latest episode of, and I quote, with writer, model, and actress Lacey Lemke. I love her. We all love her. And I'm going to check that out now that I'm home. Excellent to see that Lacey's on there. I will check it out, and you should too. She's wonderful. She's funny. She's charming. And speaking of lovely and charming, there's Robert Beatty. It was great to see you too, my man. Oh, sorry I wasn't around more. And because the heat was kicking our butts. It really was. In fact, I think I'm still feeling the effects of it. I didn't realize how much I was sweating till I sat down at dinner on Friday night with some of my friends from Artist Alley, and before the dinners even came, I realized I drank 4 large tumblers of iced tea. And I'm like, when's that guy coming back with the pitcher? You want to just leave the pitcher here? It was very hot down there. I don't know what the temperature was, but the humidity was off the charts, and that was killing me. So we lose weight we go back on our diet, we lose weight. You can't diet when you're in Metropolis. That's the thing. You're living on fare and restaurant food. Oh, and also a huge shout out to Harrah's Casino Hotel. We stayed there this year because it was funny, because in the past, a lot of people stayed at like the Super 8, Holiday Inn Express, or usually the Baymont, which is just about 3-4 blocks walk to the Celebration. Well, this year, both Super 8 and the Baymont, well, they recently were purchased by another management company a couple of years ago, and they raised their prices dramatically this year, to the point where the casino was actually competitive. And we looked at the prices, and Cookie and I talked about it, and it's like for just like another $30, we could stay at the casino, and it's nice. It is secure. It's tough to break into that place. But it's really comfortable. The beds were wonderful. The bathtubs, I could barely get in. They were so high. I needed a door to get in. But it was a lot of fun. Beautiful environment. So, Brian Robbins says, so with the nebulizers done, we'll be gearing up for Memoirs of an Angel #8, launching in September. It's already written and in the editing process. I can't wait to start drawing that one. I can't wait for you to start drawing that one too. And from Carl Wisman, welcome Teenage Moon Knight, and we're glad to have you here. We really are. And you made new characters. I saw that, Philip Thompson. I saw that. Good for you. Because you never know what people are going to respond to. So having a lot of characters, more characters, is a good thing. Ryan Permison says, tune in today live at 2 p.m. Eastern for Battle of the Nerds, where 2 people test their trivia skills in a random category chosen by the host. Join us and play along on YouTube there. Check out that channel today. And if you've got some books that you think Ryan Permison needs to read, then you drop a link to him via Facebook Messenger, and he'll check them out. All right. And what did they use the proceeds of the auction towards? Asked Sarah. This annual event, in which I was the auctioneer, and we do a last man standing kind of auction that makes it move real fast, and thank God for it, because my knees were killing me by the end of the evening. Well, it's the money goes towards renovation of the old Massick Theater building. It is one of the first things you see when you reach the downtown business district of Metropolis. It is one of those grand old theaters like the Orpheum in Champaign used to be, where they didn't always show movies. They showed live theater acts in the building. Well, in the late 70s, the owner of the building, it no longer became profitable to run films because of the cost, a lot of it because of air conditioning and such. And so the building fell into disrepair. And up to about 15 years ago, you could go on Google Earth and look down from the satellite. You could see through the giant hole in the roof to see plants growing inside the lobby. Well, the long story short, believe me, the city wound up owning the property. And they have been renovating the building not with the purpose of making it a movie house again, but they might do theater, they might do plays there, but they're going to move part of the Superman celebration into there, including the cosplay contest, which a lot of people have been begging for years. But some of it has gone into repairing things inside the theater. Now they are trying to get a grant from the federal government concerning putting it on the National Monument Registry, because it's a classic old building. But they have to jump through certain hoops, make certain costly improvements, and this goes a long way towards helping them do that. They're constantly fundraising, but eventually we're going to get there, and maybe in the next couple of years we might see some activity inside the building. So anyway, it's basically restoring a lovely old landmark of the city, and I'm really glad to be a part of that. And here we go. Rick Bradley says, good morning, Nevermornings. Rick, it is a pleasure to see you as always. Hope your weekend went well. And Anthony Beveau says, hi Brian, how are you and how's everyone? I can't vouch for everyone. But I'm pretty dandy. I'm tired. I feel like my brain is wrapped in a big fluffy towel, but other than that, but I've got coffee, so it's going to get better. And this is only my first cup, so we may have to have a station break so we can brew more. And oops, I honestly forgot to like Brian. Nothing personal. Thank you. I appreciate that, Grant. No, Friday was an experiment. StreamYard now allows us to schedule pre-recorded material, whether it is from a website, a computer, whatever. And so we pre-recorded a special show where I talked about writing and several things on my mind. It was kind of funny to read everyone's comments, though, when they realized I wasn't live. And, there were a couple of people I think were honestly distressed. It was like, like the show is ruined. It will be over forever sort of thing. It's like the sky is falling. So I was greatly amused by everyone's reaction. And Carl Wisman says, I hope that I put a like on the YouTube video last week. I got involved with a couple of conversations and might have forgotten. Carl, when I got there, Friday night into the hotel room, and I checked the video out, absolutely no one had put a like on it, Carl, but that's okay. Ryan Burmison says spots are open for, and I quote, in 2022. We are live Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, but if we need to record, we can do that. We have friendly conversation and promote your projects. Sign up today at that calendly.com address there and pencil yourself in. And this is one thing I want to say to anyone who does crowdfunding. I am absolutely alarmed at how many people launch a Kickstarter and then go to shows like mine, Clever Tile Penny on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. And they're like, well, I just launched a Kickstarter. I want to be on your show this week. One, they don't say, may I be on your show, or can I, do you have a space for me? Secondly, shows like mine are booked out about a couple months in advance. In fact, Charles Santino, I'm only able to get him on tomorrow night because we had somebody not reply to, we'd been talking and they never got back to me about that time. So we penciled him in. So, plan your media accordingly. Like Indie Volt, God bless them. They run like a bunch of shows every week. So there's usually a place for a creator who wants to get on there. CromCon, which I didn't check out CromCon this weekend. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, Pops. I will make up for that. But anyway, Pops Van Zandt has the monthly CromCon, but plan accordingly. And of course, just because you have a Kickstarter, that doesn't mean I'm going to let you on the show. We don't do that. We don't have everyone on because they have a Kickstarter. I had one creator who said, "I have a Kickstarter. Can I be on your show?" Well, what's your work about? Well, I've got a Kickstarter. I want to promote it. Well, what is your book about? Well, here's the link to the Kickstarter. I'm like, I don't care. It's like, it was a decent project, but I told him, I said, at that point, I was booked out 2.5 months. And I said, no, here's some alternative ways I can help you. He took advantage of not a single one of them, but asked me a couple weeks later, okay, do you have room for me now? Because my Kickstarter's running right now. I need it in. Because we're no longer doing special editions of Clever Tile Painting. Or if we do, it's got to be really, really special. But I'm not going to do it for people I don't know or I'm not familiar with their work. So, it's like, because it takes away from other stuff I have to do, like my own writing. So if that's selfish of me, I'm going to live with it. But definitely plan accordingly and get on, and I quote, because Ryan is a great guy and he's a terrific interviewer. You will have a good time. And about Facebook likes, sometimes Facebook isn't letting us always like things right now. I was noticing that too. I know sometimes they'll do it if you like too many things. I have a friend that actually got in Facebook jail a couple of years ago because she was using that as a way to show that to make sure she knew she had read it. Rather than reading the whole thing, she just checks out the like. Oh, I got a like on there. Okay, I've read it. And they put her in Facebook jail for a week and wouldn't let her like anything. And I liked this episode. Well, thank you, Grant. I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone that likes the show. And I like the show on Facebook Friday. Maybe it didn't register. It's on. No, it isn't the Facebook. I'm sorry. I should have made that clearer. It's on YouTube. No one liked it on YouTube. No one liked it on YouTube. So anyway, and good morning, Facebook user. Hope you're having a great morning. And wait, I like Friday's video. It must not have taken. That's no good. I'll be sure to fix that. Thank you, Brian. And forgive me for pandering people. And Glenn B. Fleming, always a pleasure, my friend. Hi, Brian. Hope you are well. And check out that Amazon link there. Glenn Fleming has a lot of superb books on Amazon, and he's also the co-host with Ted Davies of The Truthmongers. It's a great, great show on legends like giants and conspiracies and all kinds of cool stuff. I dig that show a lot, and we dig Glenn Fleming. He is crazy talented, and we are crazy for him. Hope you're having a great day today, Glenn. Hope you're getting some sleep, my man. And who has seen the Stargirl TV show? It is really good. Okay, yeah, I have. I watched the first 3 episodes, and I got distracted. I'm probably going to go and buy the DVD one day because I did enjoy the show. But to me, I'd love to hear what everyone thinks of that show. Stargirl is based on a DC Comics character, kind of like this generation's Starman, if you're familiar with the classic Starman series, various series of Starmen. And it's about a young girl named Courtney who winds up finding out that she's hanging out with a former superhero, the former Stripesy, who was the partner he was actually the adult assistant to the Star Spangled Kid back in the day. And now she finds her town is becoming a haven for super criminals, and she's out to find out why. Yeah, it's really good. And and I'm not a huge Luke Wilson fan. I enjoy him more than I like Owen, but he's Luke is really that role is made for him. He does a great job. I've not seen, like I said, I saw 3 episodes, maybe 4 of the first season, and I really liked it. I really do want to catch up with it today. I'm glad you like it. So I think it was the Facebook folks. The YouTube folks did fine. Yes, exactly, Carl. Thank you very much. And favorite Superman comic TV series and movie, mine are Kingdom Come, Smallville, and Man of Steel. That's a good list there. I like that. Favorite Superman comic. Wow. Oh man, just one. if I absolutely had a desert island Superman comic, it might be Superman Up and Away by Tom King and Andy Kubert. Um, it touches all the right buttons with me as far as Superman goes, about his heroism, his sacrifice, his ability to prioritize even for the weakest among us. And there is the next to last chapter is probably one of the best Superman stories I've ever read in my life, and I'm comparing him to like Jerry Siegel, Alien Megan, and Alan Moore. Okay, so it's good stuff. TV series, now that's a tough one too. I can watch The Adventures of Superman with George Reeves over and over and over again. Lois and Clark, I absolutely love that show, except for that one season that was kind of stalled because of kind of like the DC Comics and the TV producers being at loggerheads, because each one wanted to marry Lois Lane off. Then they killed Superman, and then the TV producers had to change their plans, and it was just a mess. And it ended on such a horrible episode that not a horrible episode, but it was not the best episode ever. And then it left on a season finale cliffhanger, and they never came back. So that kind of hurt that. Now I need to catch up with the Tyler Hoechlin Superman show, Superman and Lois. Because I'm hearing very little but good stuff. It's all been good. And movie, wow, I liked Man of Steel, except for the. I thought they spent too much time destroying the city. I was having 9/11 flashbacks during that sequence. Although it was very realistic, that's just what would probably happen. I liked Superman Returns mostly for Brandon Routh. He was terrific. But for me, I guess my favorite Superman movie will always be Superman the movie, because it, especially at that time, like right now, we have so many great TV shows and movies about superheroes. You've got to realize this was a movie they actually spent money on, and they got A-list actors like Marlon Brando, Susanna York, and Gene Hackman, Glenn Ford. These people didn't have to be in this movie, but they came in and they all brought their A game. They didn't like Brando, especially towards the last part of his career. There's a few roles he's just phoning it in, which is a shame, because he at one point was he was like one of this generation's, or that generation's, like in the 50s, finest actors, and he could do a variety of things like comedy, drama. Streetcar Named Desire is still a powerful movie even after all this time, which also has Eva Marie Saint, who was in the newer Superman movies. So, but definitely, those will probably be my three, and they'll probably change in 5 minutes. And weird, it looks like our 13 likes and your usual 1 dislike from a person who has a small member. Yes, yeah, and everyone came on this morning, but when I checked Friday night, and was it Saturday night, no, there was one, and it was mine. So yes, I like my stuff. And sneaking in while the boss is away, shh, don't reveal that they're there. Anyway, we're glad you're here. All right. And I was confused. We're always confused. That's why we've got Carl straighten us out. And Zoe Chocolate, good morning to you. Good morning, Brian King Morris. Good morning, Zoe. Mwah, glad to see you. It's been a while. Hope you're having a great Monday. Great start to your week. And Jeffrey Hayes with Plasma Fire Graphics. Good morning, Monday morning, Nevermorians. Make it a great day for someone else. And you can if you go to plasmafiregraphics.com and check out their great graphics, such as Snow Ambition, my latest release. Notice how I'm working this in, Jeff. Notice the slickness of the show, I'm telling you. And also, if you like what you see, check them out here at Plasma Fire Graphics. Big swig of coffee there. Anyway, Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Jeffrey, hope your weekend went well. Hope you're having a great day, my friend. And hello, beautiful people. I bet that's Keisha Acuff. Mwah! Beautiful lady whose brand new show yesterday on the Back of the Cereal Box Network with Willow Schuyler, Cryptid Crunch. I've got a lot of broadcasting to catch up on today. I'm not going to get much writing done. And Zoe Chocolate, yes, it was crisp last night. Beautiful. Yeah, it was miserable hot. Well, not quite as miserable during the day. The humidity had gone down in Metropolis, Illinois, and the drive home was very pleasant. So, and we got home and we're like, man, this is what this weather should have been all weekend, except it's dark. Actually, we did get home before 10 o'clock yesterday, at 10 o'clock Eastern. So I was pretty happy. It was like 9:55. But for us traveling, that's pretty good because it's not unusual for us to come back after midnight. But we left after a certain point. We're sorry we missed a lot of people, and Scott Hall, it was great having lunch with you, brother. But it was a good weekend. It was, I need a day to recover from it, but we're going to take it light on ourselves, but it was a very, very good weekend. We wish more of you could have been there. We wish all of you could join and share our joys. And you're okay, Brian Robin, says Carl Wisman. Glad you can breathe today. Yeah, seriously. We're always glad you could breathe. Maybe you'll even be able to get through the entire episode of Comic Book Spectrum this Thursday. Brian had to leave because he is having a severe asthma attack. We kid because we love, okay? And the artwork of Bill Sarton, a marvelous morning to the frazzled, that's true, frumpy post-celebration Fezman, and all the magical, majestic, Monday Morians. Count your God-given blessings and always be thankful for them. Yes, definitely, always, sir. I hope you had a great weekend, Bill. Good to see you here. And Zoe Chocolate, yay, Brian Rodman. Oh, yeah, we'll cheer Brian Rodman on. And Eric Hawkins, good morning, all. Good morning to you, Eric, watching us on YouTube. Good to see you this morning. And I found 4 tiles, but I'm banned from Super Friends page. What did you do now, Robert? Were you mouthing off about that my Sharona Miley Cyrus again? That'll teach you. I should be banned on there because I don't get there that often. But I have my 2. I'm happy. I just can't find those. I guess because I don't look for them. Chris Hale, who produces those wonderful tiles, he knows I'm so dense that he's just got to, like, Brian, hold out your hand, thump. Okay, you found one. Anyway, Sarah says, oh, you just answered my question about the proceeds. Ha, I did. And good morning to Amy Hale, who was a lovely presence in Artist Alley Writers Way this weekend. It was so good to see you. And hope you aren't too frazzled from the heat down there. Hope you and John had a great ride home. And Grant Lankard says, if you think the heat is unbearable, just think about this. I have friends who are visiting Florida now. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that. Crazy. Yeah, well, I don't think there's any place good right now. One thing we were noticing actually all weekend was, no joke, the fires from the west, which are horrific. If you look at a satellite heat map of the U.S. right now, it looks like the entire left-hand corner and like up along the West Coast is just like, brilliant red, which is bad. But the smoke from that is traveling across the country. And we were actually under an air advisory for the first time I can remember except when I was in LA for a while. We were under an air advisory where they were saying, if put on your masks, your COVID mask, it will help you breathe a little easier. We carry ours with us everywhere, so we're prepared. But and it's rough on people like Brian with breathing conditions, and probably didn't help me this weekend either. I've got a little bit of sensitivity in the lungs, but not asthmatic. But we were noticing that it was kind of like borderline overcast, even though it was hot down there in Metropolis, Illinois. And then on the drive back, of course, one of the benefits of my job and doing shows is driving back, and I get to see so many beautiful sunsets, and especially going through Illinois and Indiana during growing season. I am at heart a country boy. And to me, there is nothing more beautiful than a vast panorama of green during the summer, and all the corn and the beans and everything growing in the fields. And it just looks like a great big tapestry. It is, nothing warms me more than that. And to drive back and see this haze, and it looks almost like early morning fog. Um, and it's one of those things. It's like that Doctor Who episode. I think it was David Tennant's first, where he's, everybody's like, "Oh, look, snowflakes in there," and he's like, "No, that's ash from the spaceship that was just destroyed." Anyway, so that's a glimpse into the traveling life here. And bring Cookie home. Thank you, Artwork of Bill Sarn at SarnArt76 on Facebook. And Becca Coleman, is that my girl Becca Coleman? Hey, how you doing, Becca? Mwah, good morning. I love you. I hope you and your mom are doing well. Sarah's heading out in a couple of minutes. Love you to the abyss and back as always. You too, Sarah. And again, hope you're feeling better today, sweetie. And ooh, the Venom trailer is out. I haven't seen the first Venom movie. I don't get to the movies much these days. I don't find it as much fun as I used to, mostly because of my bladder size, which, here's a hint to anyone who's young: your bladder does not actually get bigger as you get older. Your stomach might, but your bladder doesn't. Your bladder will keep you honest when it's driving. That's why we like grinds. They're little packets of finely ground coffee beans with maybe a little bit of flavor and sweetener in there, and you stick one in the corner of your mouth, and it's like in 20 minutes you've got like the equivalent of a cup of coffee. It'll never replace this, but the nice thing is when you're traveling, you don't have to pee as often. And I do drink a lot of water when I'm on the road, so that's okay. And Becca, yeah, BK Morris, that's me. And hey, Becca here, love you, darling. Hope you're having a great Monday morning. It's so good to see you. And yes, Sarah, less exhausted today. Thanks, and hope you slept nicely last night. I don't know. I don't know if I did or not. I slept through the whole thing. I remember lying down on the bed, saying my prayers, and closing my eyes, and that's the next thing I know, it is 8:45. So I was running. I'm still a little Loggy, the Killing Joke. That's what I was trying to remember earlier. Anyway, that is the very first person that I've seen say anything bad about Suicide Squad. What did you hate about it, Teenage Moon? And Brian, I have comic books you need to sign. Oh, Becca, anything I've got of mine, I would sign for you gladly, my darling. And I'm so glad you're here. I hope your Monday's going off to a great start here. And I think you're talking about Alan Moore and Brian Boland's Killing Joke. Yes, piece of trash. No, it's actually good up to the last page. But the animated film, there is not an oasis of good to be found in it. And Becca Coleman, Amy Hale, yes, Becca, Amy's here, and we'll probably get some more writers, too, and people you ought to know. Becca, I'm glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. And Brian Rodman, the movie I'm excited about is The Green Knight by A24. It came out this past weekend. Once I finish the nebulizer and send the PDFs out to our backers, I get to go see it. Now, see, that's what I do. That's Brian's on the beam there. What I do is I take, like if I've got a major project, I give myself a reward. And I tell people that when you make your business plans, give yourself rewards, pay yourself first. And, like buy yourself a book, buy yourself a comic book. If I have a great show, I'll go on to Comixology and get some extra books or something. But you're not just doing it. You should reward yourself for little victories along the way. I think it makes it a lot more fun. And Ryan Permisson got interviewed by Facebook user. We have got to see that thing. We have got to see it. And Teenage Moon Knight Productions, I love Watchmen. I loved Watchmen too. I actually like it a little better than the comic. I love everything about Watchmen except for Doomsday Clock. I hate Doomsday Clock. The thing is, Teenage Moon Knight Productions, I think the problem is, and this is a problem DC's had since 1986, they want to fix their continuity. Marvel continuity is pretty good because what they do is they ignore the 40s and 50s stuff for the most part, because a lot of that stuff just didn't make a damn bit of sense. But as far as, I gotta adjust my chair here. But as far as DC, especially since they have they reprint a lot of that stuff, and the characters have changed over the decades. The Superman we see today is definitely not the Superman from 1938. And unfortunately, fans want everything to flow continuity wise, and DC has made a valiant attempt to do so. And they did it by creating Earth 2 and other alternate Earths, which they're getting back to because they realize that's what works, I think. Well, the problem is you had some writers at DC who just didn't give a crap about continuity. It's like Batman's on Earth 1, Wildcat's on Earth 2. Well, Brave and Bold's going to have them do an adventure together. Yep. Or we have the contemporary Batman, and we want to have him meet Sergeant Rock. They're going to have an adventure together. Yep. And so DC's continuity is botched. And I think some writers are taking it upon themselves to rewrite history, which is why we have the Crisis on Infinite Earths and 0 Hour, and then, like Flashpoint, and then Rebirth. And I think they're trying to do it again with Joshua Williamson's trying to do it again with that Infinite mini series of his. And then Metal was trying, it's just a big mess. And Doomsday Clock was part of that. Now, I did like Doomsday Clock. The art, I'm a big Gary Frank fan. I like him more and more as the years progress. And I thought it was a valiant attempt. I didn't hate it, but I don't know what good it did. So it was an entertaining read. And even then, Doomsday Clock, that thing that Tom King did about that sanctuary for superheroes where Roy Harper got killed, and now he's back again. Infinite Frontiers, that was the name. Anyway, good thing, Teenage Mutant Night Productions, that we have other comics. If you don't like one, then just move on to the other and support the ones you love. And Grant Liker says the Green Knight looks cool. Yeah, I saw a little bit over about this weekend. I do want to check it out. I really do. And by the way, if anyone messages Sarah on Facebook, give me a shout to let me know it's on here if it's okay with Brian, because I don't have Messenger on my phone. Sarah, I understand completely. Yeah. So that's cool. That's totally cool. And Becca, Delta. Yeah, we had to be safe from the Delta down there. We did our social distancing, which for a lot of us as writers is pretty easy. So anyway, I don't think he was saying that he hates Watchmen Moon Knight. He got Brian Boland and Dave Gibbons confused. Oh, that's right. I did. My apologies. I did. Yeah, I get confused a lot. I'm elderly. And I just wanted to say how much I love Watchmen. I hate Doomsday Clock. I'm with you. I love Watchmen too. I think it's one of the greatest stories ever produced. And the only thing I hate about it is that everybody's trying to do the same 9-grid thing, the same, same type of Watchmen story. Do something different, friends, okay? And Elon was awesome. Yes, Amy went there for Elon. I went there for Stacy. And she was, I hope you got a moment with her, Amy. She was funny as hell. She was great. I loved her. Well, of course, I've loved her since the hot dog scene in the pilot for Superboy. Anyway, yesterday, says Glenn B. Fleming, I went on Varian and Randy's show for 2 hours, and when that ended, went on to Pop's show, stayed on an hour and a half over my spot, but no one seemed to mind. 2 outstanding shows. Oh, yeah, I love Sunday Funnies. I really do love Sunday Funnies. That's a great show. And I am going to be back there one of these Sundays as soon as I can get up early enough. But anyway, a day of Glenn B. Fleming, it is a glorious day. And we'll run a spot for Randy's show at the end of this program too. But it sounds like fun. And I do like Geiger. I'm waiting for the trade paperback on that, but I think Clyde Hall and Eric Hawkins have been reading Geiger on Comic Book Spectrum, which I would love it. Please come by and check it out if you haven't already on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. on wherever you're watching this right now. And it does sound good. I want to read it. It's one of those things where I'm really careful about how many comics I pick up because I have a very addictive personality. Right now, I probably have more comics than I've on a monthly draw than I've had in 10 years. So it's it's expanded my world, but Geiger does look good. It really does. And what is up, Mr. Morris? Well, my darling Ms. Cole, Coleman, I'm drinking a lot of coffee. I'm talking to cool people like you, and we're having a good morning. And we're trying to recover from a weekend show. So anyway, and there we go. And Facebook user says has a SoundCloud link there to Michael Ricci. Like Nightmare Oasis, listen to the audio version of Facility 52. Nightmare Oasis. So you're Rick Bradley, I bet you, huh? Good, because it's coming over as Facebook user. Nothing you've done, Rick. It's okay. And we have been to that museum. It is awesome, and there's some cool comics there. Yeah, if you've never seen original artwork by Joe Shuster, the co-creator of Superman, this is the place. The thing about the Superman Museum, and it was so good to see Jim Hambrick. Jim has had some ill health the last few years, and it is always reassuring to see him there in good spirits and in good state of mind. Makes me happy. And I love Morgan. I love the staff there. They are great. But yeah, it is a Superman Museum represents the lifelong collection of Mr. Jim Hambrick. And what you see in the museum is maybe about 10% of his total collection. That he's got a bunch of stuff. He's got like genuine uniforms. He is like the foremost collector of Superman memorabilia in the United States, if not the world. And he used to be Kirk Allen's manager. So it's always a pleasure to go down there. I love this museum. I love the Hambrick family, and it's just a good time. So when you get down there, you got to see that thing. You really do. Support Morris. Becca Coleman, I agree with you completely. I need all the support I can get. And yeah, Robert Beatty says, when I seen you, you looked like you had just taken a shower because you were soaked in sweat. Yeah. And you probably found out why once you went into the dealer's room, or rather the Artist Alley Writer's Way. It was the air circulation in that building is horrendous. Now, granted, that building is not set up for large groups. So I understand it. That's why it's so miserable in there. But one of the things that I have talked to the powers that be down there, and this is not exactly insider information because I don't reveal that, but one of the plans is to move as much into the Massac as possible during the Superman celebration, and part of that will be Writer's Way and Artist Alley, and they will set it up for large concentrations of sweaty human beings. Anyway, Robert Bay, I just wanted to meet one of my childhood crushes, Nicole Tom. I didn't care about her being the voice of Supergirl because I didn't know she did that. I got me a Beethoven autograph. Excellent, excellent. That is so cool. Very cool. Yeah, and I got Stacy Haydick, so it was a good time. And the thing is, my Stacy, and I know I skipped some comments. We just had a comment dump here, but yeah, I had a my first year there, I got a picture of Gerard Christopher, and in 1999, and then I got a chance to get Stacy. So I was happy. I was a happy boy. It just kind of came full circle for me. So anyway, let's see. We caught up with the comments. Thank you for your patience here. And yes, I was pretty soaked. We'll get to your comments in a moment, Robert. And my own worthless opinion on Friday's pre-recorded show is that I believe it could best be used if you're recording the YouTube version of your newsletter or special announcements for one of your upcoming projects. However, I believe guest hosts are your best bet when you're unable to do your show. It would be better received and more interactive by your viewers, and definitely more rising tides as artwork of Bill Starr. I appreciate your opinion. This was partly an experiment, though, to test something that Facebook, or not Facebook, but StreamYard has just recently started doing. And it wasn't necessarily for Rising Tide, or not really for never mind the Furthermore, but it was for other things I've got planned. So you could put up with it for one day, and I'm glad you all did. So anyway, yeah, because actually that's like more work for me. So which I'm trying not to do because it takes me away from other things. But I've got such great stand-ins that like Carl, Ryan, and Joe that one, I hate asking them to do it too often. I don't want to rely on them. Or it's like, okay, I don't feel like doing it today. Hey, Carl, can you pitch in? So it's like they got plans too. But I wanted to test this new feature of StreamYard, and and it's one of those things. A lot of people, the thing is, a lot of people don't interact with the show. They come in here, comment dump, they dump their links and then they run off. So, that's just the way it is. And you notice that I can talk for 2 hours, or an hour and a half, whatever that was. So it won't happen often. But when it does, I will have a good reason, and I'll always have a good reason to say hello to my friend Randy Zimmerman. Good morning, Fezman, and the Nevermorians. Arrow has comics in-house, and Revolt books in the mail. Going to be a great month. Any plans for Grand Rapids Con in a few weeks? Actually, no. I think I've got a conflict that week, and I've never been up there. I really need to check that out, I think. But yeah, I'm sorry I missed the show on Sunday. That was when we were trying to check out of our room because I did want to at least say hello to you guys. But anyway, please check out Sunday Funnies with Randy Zimmerman because he's awesome. In fact, let's since we got the prime time here, let's show everyone what the show is about, Randy.
Now, every Sunday morning, longtime independent comics creator and Indie Volt podcaster Randy Zimmerman hosts a discussion on the lighter side of comics, the more whimsical and fun comics out there on the Sunday Funnies. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on Indie Volt, indievolt.com, the Indie Volt YouTube channel, and the usual Indie Volt sites on Facebook. Listen in, won't you? Participate in the chat. Let's have some fun. See you there.
No, but I'll have to check out Grant. Yeah, definitely check out Sunday Funnies. That if you like people having a good time with comics, that's the show to watch. Randy does a great job on that show. Randy and Barry and both, and Glenn B. Fleming, and Russ and Daphne and the whole crew. Anyway, but no, I don't have any plans to go up there. I'm going to live vicariously through you. I do want to get up to the north sometime, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing Revolt. I am so happy. I hope you had a chance to look over the proposal I sent you. And Will Skyler, because I do, if you want it, I have a couple of mostly technical questions, like page count and all. But anyway, Will Skyler, the hostess of Willow's Pillow Talk, and the glorious PR person for the Hanging with Web Show Network, and new triumph with Cryptid Crunch with Keisha Acuff. And it is so good to see you, Willow. Mwah, good morning to you, my darling. Hope our Peppermint Princess is doing well today, as is Michaela Jade. Mwah, love you, darling. Hope you're doing well. Lesson learned over the weekend at QuadCon. Do your research on the hotel you choose. Some are icky, making the higher cost ones worth it. Yeah, I found that too. We probably should have something about that. I remember I was at this was about 4 years ago, I think 4 or 5, the Salem Comic and Toy Expo, and I decided to go inexpensive, and I went to the Days Inn there. Now, the staff there was wonderful. The room was nice. But there was a smell in there. It smelled like chemical. It smelled like whatever I killed that wasp with, except more concentrated. And I'm surprised I don't have cancer or something from it. I have trouble breathing sometimes. Maybe that was it. It was probably Agent Orange or something. But it smelled horrible, and I could smell it all along the row where I was staying. So I knew it wouldn't do any good to ask for another room. But after that, I decided, you know what? I'm travel a long way. I've got to be able to sleep. I've got to be able to know I'm safe in that hotel. And so, yeah, I agree. I now don't stay anywhere that isn't at least a 4.0 out of 5 on Google ratings. And of course, you go through and you find people, I think they just post to be trolls. Oh, yeah, I slept on a bed bugs last night. I went in there and somebody peed on the bed, sort of thing, and they didn't change the sheets. I've never found that sort of thing. I've never found any critters in my room. Or I think that whatever that was I smelled was probably getting rid of making sure there weren't any critters. But it was still a little unpleasant. But yeah, it's much better for me. Instead of staying at a $50 place, it's okay to spend $100 and know that you're safe and comfortable. And Michaela, I'll gladly share any information I have when you're going into an area if I have stayed anywhere there. I can recommend some places. But yeah, but otherwise, I hope you did well. And Teenage Mutant Ninja, that's just a natural reaction. I see teenage, and I know the next part is the Turtles and all. Teenage Moon Knight Productions says, just to be clear, I hate the Marvel Comics universe, and the MCU will ruin Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac is a bad choice for Moon Knight. I don't know. I think he can act, and and it's one of those things I constantly say, we haven't seen the screen test. There might be, something that he did during the screen test where you're going like, whoa. Like, I remember I saw Gray Lady Down, which was one of the earliest Christopher Reeve movies. I think it was him, Charlton Heston, and Chris actually had a very minor role in it, and he was good, but it's like, this guy ain't Superman. But then when the DVDs came out, I saw Christopher Reeve's screen test, and it's like, I get it. I totally get it now. And it was like when they released Hugh Jackman's Wolverine auditions, and he was like, okay, I get it. I'm officially blown away. But there was another actor that actually was the original choice for Wolverine. I thought, if Jackman was so perfect, what the heck did the other guy do that Jackman didn't, that he got the role? Because he was just maybe a more slightly better known actor than Jackman was in this country. But yeah. But anyway, we'll see what happens, sir. We'll see what happens. And everyone's saying hello. And Joe Dog McKeel's here. Sir, hope you're doing well this morning. And the experiment with the StreamYard pre-recorded scheduling stuff works. So I did check, and we're going to catch up now. And I like real movies. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And I think if nothing else, I think more people should see classic cinema. Like we have talked several times on the show about movies like Casablanca. I think it's a great film. I think it's one of the greatest films ever made. You should see, I think, Citizen Kane for its historical relevance. And of course, I'm a big fan of the old horror movies. So yeah, I don't like fake films either. So, Michaela, yes, the very last thing you want to bring home is bedbugs from a cheap hotel or any of the denizens that stay there. I will not stay in any place that rents for the week. That does not exactly attract your best and brightest. No, Michaela, what I will recommend are Airbnb. I have stayed in maybe three B&Bs, and I've had a lovely time. I really did. And I haven't done it this year last year or this year because of the COVID. But no, most of the times you can stay really lovely place for a fraction of what a chain hotel or motel will cost you. And plus you get at least one meal there. So it's kind of cool. And everyone here, hello. And Sean DeLay says the magic word, Borg. Yeah, it was a rough weekend. I know, I'm still recovering. I wasn't even in that room as long as you were, but I hope you had a good time, and I hope it was profitable, Sean. And Willow, I put in some fan art for Cryptid Crunch in the humor group, and Willow likes that. And we were just having fun with you on the pre-recorded show. And I loved watching the comments. That was great. More to come. You'll be sorry that you ever asked, Willow. Yes. And the Birds of Word, when you get Cindy Cap's nice and nifty newsletter at ckoepp.com, and definitely go buy some of her swell swag from Animal Eye in her Etsy shop. It's really something to tweet about. There's an ad for it in her issue of Animal Eye with this beautiful, beautiful wraparound cover. And it is adorable. And yeah, there's some cool stuff. There's backpacks, coffee cups, prints, tote bags, cups, keychains, stickers. There's all kinds of groovy stuff there. You will like it so much. And I can't fly yet, otherwise I'd be there. And
yeah, I saw.
Okay.
Let me.
May I? Thank you. Appreciate it. There were the coffee filter slipped. So that's okay, honey. Love you. Okay. She's worn out too. She's flying with one wing, and she has to work harder with it. And hello, morning, Brian and friends. Good to see you here this morning. Hope all is well. And Carl Westman, I absolutely know that I liked it on YouTube. I even checked it this morning and it showed up. Must have been a glitch. Okay, yeah. Well, when I see it, it didn't show up for like almost 48 hours. So, and Donna Carleen, wait, I not only like but shared like always on Friday. What the hell? I don't know. Maybe Facebook has got its cooties on YouTube or something. But anyway, thank you to everyone who did like and share. I do appreciate it. And Facebook user enjoyed Stargirl. Luke Wilson is just the best. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Okay, let me get my finger on the print screen here so I can make faces. I love you.
Love you.
I love you more than Stacy Hayduck. Stacy doesn't bring me coffee.
She would if she knew that it was an option.
I don't know if that's true, honey. But you do, and that's a treasure to me. I love you.
Love you.
And for anyone who asked, the Cookie is doing well today. She is doing well. In fact, she hasn't been taking her pain meds. I think she took one yesterday. She could take 3 a day. She took one yesterday. I took one on Saturday. I was in so much pain. Anyway, Superman Red Sun, beautiful book. Beautiful. Yeah, that's a great story. I like a lot of the Elseworlds books, and I'm sorry that DC stopped producing so many. I mean, like Gotham by Gaslight. That is a work of sheer brilliance. That really is. Teenage Moon Knight Productions says, I really love these 2 movies, Good Time and Uncut Gems. I haven't seen either one. Like I said, in the last few years, especially with the advent of the cell phone, movie going has not been as fun for me as it used to be. So, I've really not seen a lot of stuff in the theater. I do try to check it out later at DVD or whatever. So, but I'm just running behind like this show. Joe Dog McHale says, on the next Stupid O'Clock, was Humpty Dumpty pushed? How big a cover-up was conspired by all the king's men? Why have we been led to believe he was an egg all these years? Was it murder and an elaborate cover-up? Yes, and how do we know he didn't eventually, when he landed, become a chicken? We demand the answers. What is our government hiding from us? And Scott Crocker says, well, 30 minutes at one stop, my day is already spectacular. Note the sarcasm in my voice. I wish I was dead. No sarcasm. Well, we wish you were alive because we like you. You're fun. We love you, Skunk. You'll make it through this day, brother. You got this. And the artwork of Bill Sarn says, I received my copy of Animal Eye comic book and coffee cup on Friday. It is a great comic for all ages, and I reviewed it on Stupid O'Clock on Saturday night. I think one of us is probably going to review it this week on Comic Book Spectrum. I don't know that I can, to be honest, in all honesty, because I was kind of an editor and a consultant on it. So I really have an unfair perspective on it. But it's definitely, it's a great comic book. She did such a good job. Now I want to read the original book. Brian Robin, Brian, have you read Superman's Secret Identity by Kurt Busiek and Stuart Immonen? It's about a boy named Clark Kent who actually ends up getting powers like the fictional Superman. It's brilliant. Yes. That is a great series. I liked it. I liked Birthright by Mark Waid and Lionel Francis Yu. And there's another one. They only released 3 volumes of it, but it was like, what if these characters existed in real life or versions of them? And they did, of course, the Trinity. And they were kind of fun. Those were kind of fun. I wouldn't have minded seeing more. And there were some that were, it's kind of stretching it a little. Like trying to make Superman into like a Conan the Barbarian, although it had artwork by Gil Kane and John Buscema. That was magnificent. I also like the 2 Superman Spider-Man team-ups from back in the day. Those were really good. First one was by Jerry Conway, Ross Andrew, Dick Giordano, and Neil Adams. Second one was by Jim Shooter, John Buscema, Joe Sinnott, and that was beautiful. I mean, John Buscema's Superman looked like he could, change the course of mighty rivers. It was just beautiful. And poor Skunk. I agree, Carl. Poor Skunk. And Randy Zimmerman says, Superman Lois is the best DC show in CW right now. A family drama done with the highest respect to Superman and his legacy. They had plenty of time to get terrible, and it keeps getting better and better. That's what I'm hearing. The only complaints I hear, Randy, are those hardcore comic fans that think that these shows should exactly mirror what happened in the comics. So, like, if they make a change to Doomsday, it's like, well, he's supposed to have big spikes. He's not supposed to be a normal human. Or, he's supposed to meet so-and-so before he meets Zatanna. That's not right. That's wrong. I hate this show forever. So, fanboys, right, Randy? name of us. Anyway, Randy, hope you're having a great day, brother. And Teenage Mutant, I'm sorry, I'm doing it again. Teenage Moon Knight Productions. Brian, have you read the comic Brat Pack by Rick Veitch? Yes, it is a deconstruction of superhero sidekicks. Yeah, and I think it's one of the best ones, actually. I think that's a lot of fun. I like Rick Veitch's work, not just Swamp Thing, but he did like a 4-issue run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that was awesome. He's a great writer and great artist. Love 1963. What was that one he did? Rare Bit Fiends, I think it was, where he did comics based on his own dreams. That was engaging. I didn't think I'd enjoy that as much as I did, but yeah, I'm a Rick Veitch fan. I really am. I'm glad to see that you share some of my tastes. Eric Hawkins says Donner and friends went to meet with Brando. He told the director he thought Jarrell should look like a glowing green bagel who spoke only in electronic sounds. Yeah, I've read some of the stories that the late Richard Donner had to do to get Brando to toe the line. Like Brando, and I understand this because sometimes my memorization isn't what it should be. Brando, at that point in his career, was reading stuff off of cue cards. Like he'd have actors holding like taped cue cards to their stomachs. You know, the camera couldn't see it, but Brando would read off of them, and of course he was brilliant. But I guess if I remember correctly, Donner said, "I didn't pay you to read your script. You will have it memorized." And Brando, of course, had a hissy fit. And Donner said, "Well, you know, I don't have to pay you the $7 million in your contract. I'll just break the damn thing if you show up on your first day of filming and you don't have the thing memorized." Brando came onto the set and he said, "Dick, I've got everything memorized." And he ran through the script and Dick goes, "That's okay." And he pointed off set. There was a big stack of cue cards ready for Brando. So history. And a mouse hawk is not a feathered bat, says the Historical Fencing Guild, but a type of throwing axe. I drop this as a heads up for what is coming down the pipe. Ooh, from the Historical Fencing Guild every Friday night at 8 p.m. Always a great time with Nicholas Anthony Tucker. And I know who this darling is. Lynn Bush. Much better watching you on YouTube. Hi, Orko. Mwah, Lynn. My evil Lynn. How are you this weekend? I hope you had a great week. I saw you were at a show. I hope you did well, and I hope you are doing well. Much love to you and Paul and the family. And Grant Lanker, let me know if you want to sign up for my newsletter. A new episode of It's Like a Book Report with Fun will be up. Yes. And Michaela Jade says, nope, it was cockroaches. So I checked in and immediately checked out and into another place. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, that's Yeah, that's why I tend to go by the reviews. And, you know, again, you can seed out, you can, you know, pick out the ones that are just fake. But, like, if you see one where, like, it doesn't have that many people, and I love it. You see ones that are like 5 stars. This is the best place I've ever stayed. And then it's like the first ones. And then after that, this place was a crap hole. This place should be bombed. You know, this, you know, and everyone's talking about the terrible things that went on there. And it's interesting to see some places kind of go into decline. There was a place I used to stay in Marion. I won't say which one, but when I stayed there, it was pretty nice, you know, for what it was. And I think I only stayed there like 1 night or 2 nights, excuse me. But they, I read the recent reviews, and I know these hotels change management teams so frequently, but the reviews were just horrible, and they were very specific, and they were similarly, you know, they were similar things. Plus, a lot of this chain doesn't have quite the, you know, I don't demand a continental breakfast, but it's nice. But if you're going to charge top dollar, I want a continental breakfast, you know. Now I have nothing but love for Best Western in well, actually just all the Best Western. I've not stayed in a bad Best Western or Holiday Inn Express. I will endorse those two. Those have been really, really nice. And anyone that stays in Metropolis, definitely check out Harrah's Casino. It is gorgeous, and the staff are just marvelous. And Legend of Traveling TARDIS every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Even the sultry, sexy, sultry Michaela Jade couldn't get me up this morning. And I mean, okay, that's enough out of it. We're trying to tone that down a little, okay? And even myself, all right? And the artwork of Bill Sarn says, join the Far Out and Groovy Kids by clicking on Sarnart76 on Facebook for better better days from yesteryear. My snazzy jazzy sketches and other great gear and other gear goodies will tickle your innards and warm your heart. Plus, my artwork is always available for purchase, safe and securely through PayPal. So make sure to hit the follow button on the Artwork of Bill Start, where everything old is new again. Good to see you, Bill. That's a great place to be. I'm on there. You should be too. Historical Fencing Guild says cold weather means nicer for the work I am planning. Things are coming. I can't wait. And Mikhail J says it's okay. Your competitors are kicking your butt. Oh, it's on. And Christian Basil on Facebook says tomorrow night at Eastern, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Team TARDIS discuss the announcement of Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall leaving Doctor Who in 2022. Subscribe and hit that bell and become part of the legend. Well, I will say that I am disappointed because I heard that Chibnall had a 5-year plan. But we're used to that if we like Andrew Cartmill. And I'm sorry that Jodie got so much pushback. And the problem is, it's all because, in my opinion, it's all because she was a female. Oh, Doctor Who's got to be a guy. No. They've already established it can be different dudes. And, and they've established then that anyone could be a male or a female, that it's fluid. And why can't we have a female Doctor Who? Why can't we have an Asian Doctor Who? Why can't we have a lesbian Doctor Who? Whatever demographic can be Doctor Who, as long as they're heroic, because then all you're just kind of revealing your prejudices, I think, when you say, oh, Jodie Whittaker can't be Doctor Who because she doesn't have a penis, that sort of thing. We don't know what they got down there. And Will Schuyler says, you mean your pets actually let you sleep? Well, this is a new thing. We've educated Will Schuyler on something. And probably the funny thing is I don't remember saying anything that was controversial, but no sweat off my brow. Okay. Well, that's as long as you're not unhappy about it. That's cool. And Joe Dog McKill, they say clothes make the man. We'll strip them all naked, and then they're all equal until the woman starts to point and giggle, that is. That's true. Some men are more equal than others. And comment meant for Christian. There we go. And Eric Hawkins Jennifer asks, do you want to go to Metropolis Sunday or Saturday? Nope. Is it Brian going to be there? Yep. Why don't you want to go? Too hot. I don't blame you. Toward yesterday, we went to the Chamber of Commerce and said hello. Yesterday, our only stops were the Chamber of Commerce to see Stacey Haydock, and then it was between a local coffee shop, Sissy's, which is a great place. Sunday, it was Sissy's and Artist Alley, and Saturday, it was Happy Hearts, where we had the auction, and Sissy's, and Artist Alley. There were so many people down there Saturday, and their collective body heat was making it so humid. We actually went outside to cool down. So Teenage Moon Knight Productions says, I'm going to see the movie called Old. It is directed by M. Night Shyamalan. I always have trouble with his name, darn it. But yeah, that might be good. I like when he does this stuff. I did see, what is it? He did like The Last Airbender. I did not care for that movie very much. Of course, I don't think I cared for the script. The direction was solid, though. The Historical Fencing Guild says, see, traveling requires the 1.5 hour rule. That is like absolute longest between the legs and bladder. Best to stop every hour or so I can actually walk where I can get where I'm going. Yeah, I recover quickly. And I've learned if I go past an hour, hour and a half, I get up, and before I swing my legs out of the van, and then I flex the muscles in my legs. That helps me a little bit. I still walk like I'm 90, but at least I don't walk like I'm 120. But yeah, I'm the same way. I have had a couple of trips where I've made like one stop, and it was for gasoline and to go to the potty. But especially it's rough when you're coming home from a long trip and all you want to do is be in your own bed again. And I've put myself through some abuse, which is why I'm actually getting assistants to help me on shows now. I have a lovely assistant for my St. Louis area shows. I have a lovely assistant for my Southern Illinois shows I'll be working with. And it's like, oh, Brian's getting women to go with him. Because I'm not stupid. Anyway, The Killing Joke, Killing Art by Brian Boland, joke script by Alan Moore. Thank you, Glenn Fleming. I love it. And my whole thing, Glenn, is up to the last page. I was fully involved. I loved it. But the idea that Batman is laughing at a joke from the Joker. And Moore's original, so-called original ending wasn't clear to me, because Moore said later, and he since repudiated that story, that comic rather, but he said that one, it was supposed to be an Elseworlds, but DC didn't want to market it as such, because you had, two of DC's top talents, and you're not going to make them do an imaginary excuse me, and you probably couldn't get people to buy as many copies of an imaginary story as something that they'll think is in continuity, although it was never intended to be, although the editorial team on Batman took it as such. But anyway, just the original ending was supposed to be that Batman is sharing a joke, and you hear both their laughter, and then Batman puts his hand on the Batman's shoulder, and then the laughter stops. And Moore said that what he wanted to convey, and he was a little too subtle about it, was that Batman puts his hands on Joker's shoulders, then reaches up and snaps his neck. That was the thing that pushes Batman to kill the Joker. So yeah. I wouldn't have liked that ending a lot, but I liked it a lot better than the one we were left with. Teenage Moon Knight Production says, I hated what James Gunn did to the Peacemaker. The Peacemaker is a criminal in that movie. Well, yeah, and I don't like what DC's done with him for the most part, although I like the writing itself was solid. I like Paul Kupperberg's work a lot. But that whole thing of making Peacemaker crazy, I don't like that. I love the original version by Joe Gill and Pat Boyette, where the Peacemaker was sane. He was focused. He wasn't exactly the life of the party, but his idea was that he used violence and even death when necessary in order to maintain peace. That was a real good hook, and I think it got away from it. Anyway, I had a birthday party, says Robert Beatty, to get to, and it was a 1 Central Time. I was doing 80 to 90 up Route 1 and dodged 2 speeding tickets, but the Jeep in front of me wasn't so lucky. Ooh, yeah. And the thing is, this weekend on I-57, the cops were out every 5 miles. So, but the funny thing was, everyone around me was going 75 to 90. They couldn't get all of us, so I made sure I was with those guys whenever possible. But Route 1's a good fast route, man. I know that one. I used to live on Route 1. And Legend of Traveling Cars, Michaela, I just let them think they're ahead. And we're not reading that one, Christian. That's borderline blockage, dude. I'm letting you know that right now. Joe Dog Michaela, blind man walks into a bar, then a table and a chair. Folks, send your letters of hate to Joe Dog McKeel at. And Darwick Bill Sarn, Brian, you don't like the Killing Joke? I bet you don't believe in Peter Pan, Frankenstein, or Superman. I'm guessing Jaws was never your scene, and you don't like Star Wars. You say black, I say white. I say nah. Anyway, Joe Dog. Will Schuyler says, hey, I fully embrace being a slave to my furry overlords. Now it's getting interesting. And Damian Waldburn, good to see you. Good morning, Damian. How are you this morning? Good morning. The Venom movie made me a fan. I wasn't for if the character before to get okay. Venom, I like the original version of it, but Marvel's messed with him so much. Carnage is okay, and I think the symbiote stuff should have stopped with them. The Historical Fencing Guild says, I normally hate time skips, but the best way to save DC is just a hard jump to Batman Beyond era for a while, kill off non-powered heroes who age out reasonably, and make new heroes. Well, if you follow comics, that's what Dan Didio, the former co-publisher of DC, was trying to do with what he called 5G. And it was going to be that there would be a Golden Age Superman. There would be a Silver Age Superman, a Bronze Age, a Modern Age, and a future version that would be brand new. Now, it kind of got, when they fired Dan Didio, it kind of morphed into what was called Future State a few months ago, and I can't say I'm enjoying a lot of them. The Batman stuff by John Ridley is pretty good because it's good craft writing. I liked Superman Son of Kal-El, which I reviewed last Thursday on Comic Book Spectrum, a lot more than I thought I would. But a lot of the Future State books, and I've read I'm reading the compilations right now. The Future State books are just most of them just leave me cold. I'm just finding nothing I can relate to. And who likes the Japanese cyberpunk body horror movie Tetsuo the Iron Man? Oh, I haven't. Oh man, it's been ages since I've seen that. I kind of go in and out of anime and Japanese movies and TV and manga, but one thing I'm digging right now is Ultraman. I'm loving Ultraman. The official Ultraman channel has just started a brand new version. It's an updated version of Ultraman Tiga about a 30,000-year-old Ultraman who's brought back to fight enemies that he put away, all those many years ago, 30 millennia ago. And it's this guy, I think his catchphrases could get annoying real fast. Smiley, smiley. He just wants to make everyone smile. But the actor is really good in the role. And I love Ultraman X. Ultraman Z, rather. Oh, I do like Ultraman X. That was good, too. I'm catching up on the old ones. And I'm also watching Mirror Man, which is kind of like a second cousin to Ultraman that was done in the 70s. And it's kind of funky, but it's good if you like the original Ultraman. Brian Robin, I finally read Moon Knight #1 from Marvel that came out a couple weeks ago. It is wonderful. I really hope they do this with the show on MCU. If you haven't read it, go to your local comic shop and snag it. Definitely. Yeah, it looked good. It really looked good. I was very, very impressed with what I'm hearing so far. And I'll probably check out the trade. And Bone Cave Tab of the morning. Mwah, good to see you. Ankle is feeling better. Good. Walking with a cane, but no wraps and splints. Hope Cookie is doing better too. Yeah, we're waiting on a referral for an ortho to see her, and probably switch her from the kind of like the gauze bandage thing she's got now to a hard cast, and they'll probably set her up with some PT because there's some bad things that can happen to your elbow when you're not moving it for 4 to 6 weeks. But it's just a crack. I should say that it is not a total break. It is a crack. So there shouldn't be any surgery. But she's doing much better. Thank you for asking, Tabitha. I love you. And I hope you're doing well today. And the MCU will ruin Moon Knight. Let's see what they do with it first. Because I think they've done pretty well by most of their characters. Notice I didn't say all of them. But anyway, let me check it out. Oh, here we go. We had another comment dump. And when we get a comment dump, boy, howdy, we get a comment dump. But at least Glenn Fleming, see, there we go. I saw Glenn there. There we go. We're going to go back. Man, we are behind. Holy cats. Let's see. Oh, Robert Beatty. I just wanted to meet one of my childhood crushes, Nicole. Okay. I didn't know she got that. I got me a Beethoven autograph. Great. All right. Well, good. I'm glad you got something there. That's cool. And the MCU is not cinema. Oh, you and Scorsese, right? It's movies. It's all movies. That's okay. And reading DC these days feels like watching 2 5-year-olds fight on the playground. Oh my God. I feel that way about Marvel. I can't, I've dropped out of Marvel continuity about the time they killed Captain America. And now it's so convoluted. Everyone's a damn Avenger of some sort, even Conan, or Conan. Conan is the guy that left TBS. So yeah, there's some stuff that I read that is still pretty good. I catch on hoopla.com. I'm finishing up Always an Invader because I love the original Invaders by Roy Thomas and Frank Robbins. And that was really good. But a lot of that, if they didn't have like explanations, I wouldn't know what was going on. And good morning to Russell Allen. Good morning, Never Mornings. Good morning to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Love to you and the family. And Reed is okay. And we got the corrected version there. And Teenage Moon Knight Productions agrees. And hey, yo, Pops, how was CromCon? I didn't get a chance to see it. I was at the Superman celebration, but I bet it was awesome. And I'm going to check it out later today, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, says Eric Hawkins, this time you want a pre-recorded show. Let's do that on CBS after the regular show. We could do that. And, and I'm also thinking one of these times, if we think that we're not going to be able to get together, or that our regular pinch hitter Jody McPhee can't make it, that we'll do maybe we could, we might want to do one just as inventory, just to have, just in case. Anyway, So we'll talk. We can talk about that. And I have plans. Well, every so often, and Carl, I do too, and only if I want something ruined. And hello. And Brian Rodman, man, Teenage Moon Knight, the MCU will do just fine. The show, they seem to be doing well so far. I think they hit more than they miss. So, and Xenonanite Titan is now available at www.xenonanitetitan.com. Join the journey of Raziel, a man cast away from his family and the earth into the unknown. Can he make it back to them? Find out in book 1. That's an elevator pitch there, Russell Allen. Good work. And Teenage Moon Knight Productions, I absolutely hate the MCU. It is a disgrace to comics and movies and superheroes. Well, vote. I say vote, as always, respectfully. Vote with your dollars. Don't support it. And if somebody else likes it, I'm like, good for you. It's like there's a lot of people that think The Killing Joke is the greatest comic ever. And boy, howdy, that animated version was awesome. And I'm like, no, the first one was ruined by the last page, and the animated film was basically a dull version of the comic with an element of creepiness and power exchange, an unequal power exchange going on. Will Schuyler says, TMKP, you sound like your mind is already made up to hate the movie. Perhaps you can forego watching the rest of the MCU stuff so you don't have to worry about how it didn't reach your expectations. Yeah, it's like if you don't like a show, if it doesn't thrill you, then that's fine. And I try to let other people enjoy it. Like I tried reading 50 Shades of Grey, and it just wasn't. I'm not the demographic. It wasn't written for me, but I know a lot of women and men who like it a lot. And it's like, why am I raining on their parade? Why am I peeing on it? I can put my energy to other places. And yes, we definitely missed you Friday. Well, thank you, Russell. I like I said earlier, that was partly to test a new feature of StreamYard and not overburden my substitutes. So, and CromCon, August 13th and 15th, I'll be there. Or excuse me, Grand Rapids Comic Con, August 13th to 15th, I'll be there, God willing. I'm sure I've got a conflict then. But I wish you luck, and I like to hear what it's like. I might make it up there. Who knows? And Legend Traveling TARDIS. So you're saying people come in here and take a dump and leave? Yeah, seriously, they do. It explains a lot, doesn't it? And I don't really get all the hate that the Marvel movies get. To me, it's pretty amazing what they've been able to do with so many different movies. And I'm just glad to see you got A-list directors, A-list actors wanting to be in them. I never thought I'd see the day when Angelina Jolie, post Tomb Raider, would be going, hey, I'd like that role in that Marvel, that superhero, that comic book movie there. Or, any of those guys, Robert Redford, Glenn Close, those people don't need to do superhero movies. Sylvester Stallone doesn't need to do them. And David Hasselhoff might. But anyway, yeah, seriously. And am I the only one that autocorrects hates Earth as capitalized? Yeah, but there's Earth the plant, and there's Earth the synonym for dirt. So it's an important distinction. So that's what we get for convenience. And Willow says Legend of Traveling TARDIS. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Furry Overload. There's a furry convention down here. We don't talk about behind the scenes. There's a lot of regular science fiction cons and Dragon Con. We don't talk about the scenes. Brian Robin says, I love the MCU. It's amazing what they've done. They've literally made cinema history. That's pretty much the opposite of a disgrace. And I love real movies, says TMKP. That's a short version. My favorite directors are David Lynch and Darren Aronofsky and James Cameron and Christopher Nolan. Nothing wrong with that. I love Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, and Cameron, for the longest time, had a script and was assigned to direct, back in the 90s, a Spider-Man film. So, to me, it's just a matter of quality, and I don't think we're cheapened by, the cinema is not cheapened by having them. Cinema has always been about entertainment. And, what floats your boat may sink mine. So we will agree to disagree. Teenage Mutant Moon Knight Productions, but that's cool that you have a strong opinion about it. And Revenge of the Wasp, cool. If that's a real movie, I want to see it. And oh wow, second stop of the day, even more returns. Dear God, today sucks. This is Skunk Rocker. It's already 11 a.m. and I'm so far behind. I should already be in Lafayette by now. And yeah, I'm behind too, Skunk. Let's see who finishes first. I'm betting on you. And the MCU is not cinema. David Lynch's Eraserhead is cinema. I've not seen all of it. Eraserhead. That's crazy. How have I not seen all of Eraserhead? Yeah, and there, and yourself, there's going to be some people that don't care for Eraserhead, but I'm as long as you can express it politely, I will listen to your opinion, and I support your having it. And the Waspergies. Oh, now you people are getting on my case now, right? Okay. You guys were rooting for the Wasp the other day. We had a Wasp get in here. Now, I'm allergic to some bee stings. Allergic as in I'm dead in 15 minutes. Okay. So we had a Wasp get into the office here, and we had a 6-minute interlude about it. And I've gotten grief for it ever since. And Scott Crocker says, Christian, are you being judgmental again? I'm not going to have that here. I'm not in the mood today. Do not piss me off. The Skunk Rocker has spoken. All right. And Brian Rodman, well, TMKP, enjoy your real movies and let us enjoy our disgrace. Save your negativity for somewhere else, buddy. Well, yeah, we try to be positive here, but we will agree to disagree. And Teenage Moon Knight Productions loves a lot of Darren Aronofsky's work. His movie called Mother is my favorite one of his movies. I don't think I've seen a lot of Aronofsky's work, but I know, again, his name's been attached to a couple of potential superhero movies. And are you saying we should have a podcast specifically critiquing convention hotels? Go for it, dude. You can have that subject. I'll just insult them as I go. And Chris Reeve didn't get the Superman part because of a screen test. He got it because he is Superman. There we go. Glenn, have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live routine about the Christopher Reeve's audition, where Christopher Reeve is there and is like, okay, somebody set these curtains on fire. And somebody light this match or whatever. He's supposed to be Richard Donner. And Christopher Reeve instead uses his heat vision to set drapery on fire. And then one of the other guys blows out uses his super breath to blow out the fire. It's just a really, really funny gig there. And Christopher Reeve is so wonderful. And my favorite guest shot of his, though, will always be the Muppet Show, where they were going to do like a Shakespeare, bring some class to the Muppet Show, and unfortunately the actors couldn't do it, so Kermit went to Christopher Reeve. He goes, well, Chris, we've got a problem here. We can help it. Well, Kermit, I'd love to help. What do you need? Well, our Shakespeare crew can't do their piece here. Would you mind doing this the only thing, because I know every actor loves to do Shakespeare. Well, not me. Or it's a chance to be in a Hamlet. Everyone loves Hamlet. No, it's never been one of my ambitions. Chris, I'm really desperate. I really need your help. Please save us. He goes, well, okay, I will do it. Then he turns to the camera and says, won't be the first time I've worked in tights. I love that. I really do. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Teenage Moon Knight, I'm so sorry, Productions has not changed his opinion about Mother by Darren Aronofsky. It's still his favorite movie in the filmography. I still read some DC stuff, so are freely endorse the chicanery. I like DC even for its attempts to patch up its shoddy continuity, and it seems like every time they try to change it, they just make it worse. I like the current attitude from DC. It all happened. Everything. It doesn't matter what. If it was a DC comic, it happened. It just may have happened on another planet is all. Another version of it. And Cindy Cap, good morning. Darling. I got a package the other day. Thank you, sweetheart. It's beautiful. It is fantastic. I love it. Definitely check Bear Publications and see if you can get one too. I love to watch foreign films. I do too. That's why I saw the original La Caja Fall, at least the first two of them, and that's why people like The Birdcage with Robin Williams and Gene Hackman. It's a funny movie. The original is hilarious. I love it, and the stage play is better than those two. And Skunk Rocker says, "Yeah, well, I hate real movies. The real movies are those blockbuster, $1 billion, 30 A-list actors, Academy Award-winning BS. Give me schlock. Give me low budget. Give me independent film shot on video." I think there's room for all of it. I really do. I like monsters that are made out of giant rubber suits. And please check out Michael Gonzalez's project, The Book of Legends, says Russell Allen. $68 from goal with 4 days left. Add on his 9-year-old daughter's comic, and he will match the copies and donations for comic books for kids. A very worthwhile charitable cause. Very cool. And TMKP says, Willow Skylar, everyone is entitled to their opinions. I myself enjoyed the MCU because I didn't take it seriously like many fanboys do. Not all directors will have a hit movie that everyone will like. That's well said, Willow. Thank you, darling. And Joe Dog McKeel says, I was out shopping, waiting for the wife to come out of the potty. Getting bored, I began sightseeing. I saw one that made me think, then crap, that's my wife. I forgot what she was wearing. That's why Cookie and I often wear the same shirt, so I can look down and go, okay, I know who to look for. And Brian Robin says, oh, Damien, I always enjoy at least 1 or 2 DC books at all times. I've stayed away from the big 2 since jumping headfirst into indie comics. Indie is honestly better than anything else I've read. Well, I think there's the old thing Theodore Sturgeon used to say that 90% of everything is crap. And I've read some really crappy independent comics. But like DC, DC has like a Watchmen. We've got, Memoirs of an Angel, and I'm looking forward to Nebulizer, like No Tomorrow. We've also got like Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. I'm loving that book. We've got good stuff in the indie leagues too. I'm really dying to see, to get Indie Volt Revolt. I am so looking forward to that. And Skunk Rocker, me too. I don't know why. I just want to like him, but I can't, says Damian Waldron. Well, it's like I guess it's like I like, cult TV shows, cult movies. I'm rooting for the underdog. The little filmmaker that can. And I've seen some incredible stuff that most people won't watch. Like I dig Ultraman. I'm loving the Ultraman series, and I know it's huge in Japan. But I love Doctor Who for so many years, partly I think because nobody in America knew about it. It's like being in a cult, but a good cult, or like I do this with a lot of musical acts, like Todd Rundgren. I love everything. I've been a fan of Todd Rundgren since I was about 13 years old, and he wasn't much older than I was, but I loved him when he was with his first group, the Naz, and then he went solo, and he's done other groups like the New Cars and Utopia and such. And I just think he's a genius, and he doesn't hit all the time too with me, but when he does hit, it's strong. And I love low budget movies and indie movies. Yeah, and there's room for all of that. And for me, the MCU and the occasional DC movie, like I said, back in the day, these movies weren't going to get any money. But even the TV shows now show some care and some love and some serious budgets. I love the original Adventures of Superman, George Reeves, Noel Neal, Jack Larson. And you can tell that show is just pure cheese most of the time. And it started out as a serious kind of adult show and kind of geared itself down to kids very easily, which is why it and I Love Lucy are 2 of the most widely syndicated shows in existence. And it also spoke to elements that are true regardless of generation. But it mostly got by on the acting power in it. And there have been some things that, I think one of the things that set The Incredible Hulk aside from other shows of the time was the incredible acting of Bill Bixby as David Banner, as opposed to something like Captain America, where the filmmakers just did not seem to understand Cap one bit. Here's the name, here's what his costume's supposed to look like, have fun. So anyway, B-Rod is agreed with by Damien Waldron. And home from Davenport Comic and Toy Show, North Park Mall, July 31st, August 1st. Huge crowd. Got to visit briefly with the incredible author Michaela Jade and the always amazing Drachenmare, who cosplayed Peg from Married with Children and Emma Frost. Oh, please say you got some pictures of her as Peg. I love Married with Children. It was such a funny show. I'm glad you had a good time. Hope you made some serious coins, Cindy. And Scott Cracker says, I want films that star punk rock musicians with soundtracks done by weird synth artists, special effects provided by some guy who lives in his dad's garage, funded by a dentist with a disposable income. That's how we got Plan 9 from Outer Space, was that dentist. He played Bela Lugosi. And Michaela Jade, and best part of the weekend, I got to meet Cindy. I helped her unload her car, and she saved my skirt. Yay for friends. Hey, this summer's been rough on elderly Brian, so I couldn't have gone along without the assistance I have gotten this year. It's kind of funny. I will say it now. I had some concerns going to see my doctor last week because of some health issues. But it's like I come out of there and I'm like, I feel good now. I feel fine. It's like he asks me these questions. Do you have this? Well, no. Did you have this problem? Well, no, not really. Are you feeling good? Yeah, I feel pretty good now. And he's like, okay, see you next year. I'm like, or no, it's like I see him in January. And again, like halfway through there, I have like 6 months checkups because I have a slight heart condition and hypertension. But he's like, I'll see you in 6 months. Okay, see you, doc. I love you. And I found out my doctor is a gamer. Oh, I was so happy. But yeah, I just love being at the shows with my friends. I mean, the highlight of this weekend was, seeing like, Amy and John and, and Kathy and Matt and Molly Daniels, forgot her earlier. I'm sorry, Molly. And got to see Mark Lemieux. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, and it was just so much wonderful talking to him and his fiance. And John Pike and meeting his partner D for the first time, his broadcast partner. Wonderful weekend. Had a great, great time. And of course, seeing all my friends from Metropolis, my peeps, it's always good. And find that book that Russell Allen mentioned earlier at that address and add on Agents of Shh to support a young creator and sidekicks for only $2 a copy. And starting at 76 at Cindy Kep, CKOEPP.com, is for vintage cartoonists and much neat art. It is true. It is true. And those are the good movies, the real movies, the ones with heart and soul or artistic vision, says the Skunk Rocker. They're not there to make a dollar. They're there to impress. And it's to get the voice out. We all, a lot of us, in whatever field we're in, we're storytellers. We are storytellers. And whether we use our art, we use our words, we use our devices, we all use that to, express or to tell stories that are close to us, or stories that we think might bring a smile or trigger a thought to somebody's head. We do it for us and we do it for others. It's rising tide. City Cap says Amazon reviews made less impossible. You got to get that book on Smashwords. It's by me. And Teenage Mutant I'm so sorry I keep doing that. I'm so in the habit because we talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all the time on my comic book show. Teenage Moon Knight Productions. My favorite low-budget movie is Repo the Genetic Opera. Oh, yeah, that movie looks really good for a low-budget movie. There's another one I liked back in the day. Mike Nesmith of the Monkees produced several movies, like Repo Man, with, I think it was the first Emilio Estevez movie. Tracy Walter, who was in Batman, played Bob the Goon. There's just a lot of good stuff, and a number of the stars from those low budget movies go on to do bigger things. And TMKP, what is your favorite indie film? There's a new stop motion film called Mad God from the effects director of the OG Star Wars. It looks amazing. Ooh, cool. And for example, says Skunk Rocker, how impressive is that they were able to hire all these hustler centerfolds so cheaply in this Z grade horror film? Oh my God, that is something. I was reading last week that somebody, right now, deep fakes are a real issue in the broadcast community. Well, some guy had taken the big reveal from The Mandalorian of Luke Skywalker, and that was pretty good. That was decent. But he went and he improved it. Now, Lucasfilms is not a company that is real big on even the fans tinkering with their stuff. They spent years not endorsing fan fiction. In fact, at one point they were saying, do not do Star Wars fan fiction. Not that it could be stopped. And they don't want people like doing amateur Star Wars films, no amateur films or fan films of that regard. But somebody had released a deep fake of Mark Hamill in that reveal, Lucas contacted him, and he's probably like, oh crap, I'm meeting the legal team. And Lucasfilm basically told him, said, sir, you have taken one of our copyrighted characters and you did a better job with it than we do. Are you looking for employment? We'd like to hire you to work for us. And that's cool. Maybe that's what Lucasfilm should do. They should hire I'll just write some Star Wars fan fiction and see if they'll hire me to write a screenplay. And Damien Waldron says, speaking of weird synth music, the Loki soundtrack is on Spotify. Ooh, I like weird synth music. I'm an 80s guy. And the original Skyman Battles Master's theme, get it at Amazon.com, says Cindy Kep, CKOEPP.com. And Oh Repo is great, says Brian Rodman. And if you like Big Stompy Robots by Nicholas Tucker, then you will love it on Amazon. Get your copy today. And Magic in the Night Reich, check that book out on Amazon also by John B. Pica, johnpica.com for all kinds of cool stuff. And check out Back of the Cereal Box Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time. Always a good time. Check out their entire network. They got some great shows. And Cindy Kemp, we love you. Joe Dog McKeel, I have discovered the answer to which came first, the chicken or the egg. The answer is in UKSHG. I cannot post that here. Okay, thank you. And it is hard for me to say, but my favorite indie movie is actually a really old Japanese movie. It's called Tetsu the Iron Man. Like I said, I've seen that long ago. Now you make me want to see that TMKP. I really do. Of course, I also love old anime. I remember one called Eighth Man, and they made a movie of it. It was about a detective who is killed, and his mind is put into a robot body. The movie's not bad. The cartoons got a lot more charm, though. But it was the idea that it was the eighth robot that the scientists created. The first 7 didn't quite work. The eighth one did. And he had like these little packets in his belt that when he needed energy, he'd puff on it like a cigarette. I'm like, that didn't age well. And The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS was at a major con this weekend. Pix will be issuing forth. Check him out on YouTube and subscribe. And I'm reading this now. Well, good for you, Russell Allen. And Dastardly Dingoes is a great podcast with our own Brian Rodman. Please check him out. Or actually, he's theirs, but we borrow him every Thursday night. He's not complained yet. And Ryan Permisson, Nerd Culture. Check that out on YouTube. Always a great show. Always a great time. Scott Crocker says, I'm sorry, but if you want true weird synth music, you stick with the masters. John Carpenter, Goblin, Wendy Carlos, Trent Reznor, Jay Ferguson. Yeah, I love Jay Ferguson's work. Brad Fidel, Disaster Piece, and Mark Mothersbaugh. Well, yeah, what was it? The original Max Headroom TV show. It was only broadcast in England, although it did get over here on VHS. And it was basically the same story as the TV series with Matt Frewer in both of them. But the music for the British one was done by Midge Ure and Chris Cross of Ultravox. And I love Ultravox. Even the non-Warren Can stuff I love. And I love the John Fox work. And I love John Fox's work. But yeah, those are some good choices there. Yeah, especially Mark Mothersbaugh. He is so versatile. And from the desk of the Small Press Publisher, every Saturday night at 10 p.m., a great interview, Mr. Joe D. McVie. Glad to have that mentioned here. We're going to run his at the end of the show. And Teenage Moon Knight Production says, I have seen the 2008 movie Franklin. It's like, what if Rorschach was the main character of V for Vendetta? Oh, wow. That sounds like something I've got to check out. See, that's one of the benefits of the show, sir. Or ma'am, I don't really know. Anyway, TMKP, may I call you that? It's like, I learn stuff here. That's why I love my shows. It gets me stuff I can check out. I feel a little more well-rounded mentally. And when in doubt, says Damien Waldron, I remember my favorite quote, it's just a show. You should really just relax. Yeah. Unclench, right? Yeah, that's me. And I've heard of Tetsu, but I haven't checked it out yet. I'll have to do so, says Brian Rodman. See, this is cool when we share interests and get expand our range of interest. And Neurosis, Amy Hale, she was at Metropolis this weekend. She was charming and delightful and wonderful. And she turned me on to a group called The Who. Not that one, skunk. I'm already a fan of The Who. This is the HU. And I guess they're a Russian group that uses native Russian instruments in a rock, or actually almost death metal sort of thing, vibe. And it's really good stuff. She was playing that for me. I'm like, man, I've got a date on YouTube today. And Skunk, John Carpenter is my favorite. I love his Lost Themes collection, says Brian Rodman. Yeah. And Warriors Trio, check out the Warriors trilogy on Amazon from Michaela Jade, because she's an awesome wordsmith. She really is. And David Lynch's surrealism film really don't interest me too honestly. I tried getting into Twin Peaks and it never held my interest, at Willow Skylar. I liked Twin Peaks because for me it was always, oh, they're not going to go there. Oh crap, they did. It's just, and it was well structured weirdness. I think I liked that, and I could tell it actually had a destination. As to, unlike something like Alias, the J.J. Abrams series, I lost interest at the start of the second season, because it'd be like, okay, we have to look for this, we're going to look for double agents in our organization, which Sydney was one. And it was like, we got to look for spies. Wait a minute, we've got this tablet that will create a new super weapon. We've got to find it. We got to spend 6 weeks on that. Wait a minute. Well, we didn't find it. Oh, well, here's the new assignment. It's just, almost stream of consciousness espionage. And I'm like, this is rotten. And I concede to your vast knowledge, Skunk Rocker. Skunk, check out the Scrub House Video Club on YouTube. He does a lot of that kind of movies on there. Good stuff. And Cindy Cap, you want poetry? You want Teresa Dunn, who hasn't shown up. I haven't seen her this morning. I hope all is well, Teresa. Check out Poetry Expressions, Volume 1 and 2. She's working on Volume 3 right now. And now I have to leave again, says Joe Dog McKeel. Do my friends. Hashtag go cake her cookie. See you all Wednesday. Joe Dog, thank you for being here. I'm sure we'll talk before Wednesday. And Eric Hawkins, I watched The Father last night. Heart-wrenching portrayal of dementia by Anthony Hopkins. I'm not sure I can watch that one, because I know Hopkins will be good and accurate, but my problem is, that's something I worry about. It's like, you see me blank out on this show. It's like, one of these times, I'm gonna have a moment like that, and it'll be more than a moment. And I told Cookie what to do. Don't put me in a home. Just take me to the top of the stairs, give me one last kiss, and one strong shove. I don't want to be that guy. And Skunk Cracker, Lost Themes 3 has been his best stuff so far, especially Weeping Ghost, Skeleton, and Cemetery. Those are all bang. They're all bang. You heard from the Skunk Rocker. And Cindy Cap says Historical Fencing Guild, Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. Learn to murder each other safely with bladed weapons. It's great. And although honestly, continues Skunk Rocker, you can't beat his actual film scores. I still maintain the soundtrack for Escape from New York doesn't get enough love, especially 69th Street Bridge. That's a tension builder. Yeah, Skunk, you would probably like Murray Gold, who did like the first 10 years of Doctor Who. He actually did Doctor Who from the first Christopher Eccleston episode all the way to the final Peter Capaldi one. And his stuff is very evocative and sometimes it is totally in your face, and then sometimes it is so subtle you barely know it's there. And many a time I found myself getting choked up on the show, not only because of what I'm watching and the power of the performances, but I realized that music is goading me on, and I'm like, stop it, Murray, stop it. And he could do everything from just like general mood to like pop songs. And everyone has a theme. Martha's theme. I loved his thing for Martha Jones. And the 11th Doctor theme, it was called something like Destination Everywhere. And it's an 11-minute piece that starts out kind of slow, has some areas that you can pull out and use in certain situations, but it is magnificent. It really is. And really pulls up the variety of the show and of the acting. Is really good stuff. If you haven't listened, and they do have many of those on CD and I think on iTunes, Skunk, you might want to check them out. And from Tabitha Bone Cave, as a cosplayer, I find it is easier to find a version of a character I love and roll with it. Love who you love. There are versions of my newest cosplay, Vulture Spider-Man Homecoming. See my icon if it shows that I hate, but overall, love who you love. Exactly. That's what we want to promote around here. Cindy Cap says CromCon was this past weekend, and now you can catch up with Comic Talk this afternoon on Pop's various channels, the Comic Madness with Pops Van Zandt and Comics Talk with Pops Van Zandt. And thank you, CindyCap, CKOEPP.com. And my darling Lynn Bush, mwah! Love you, Evelyn. I did wonderful at the Harry Potter event. I always do well there and have a great time along with my mini Orko. I saw you were having a great time as well. Looked like a blast. We did have fun, despite the fact that I was, you could have wrung out my clothes and filled a large tumbler with the results. Yeah, I was miserable hot down there. The humidity mostly. But I drank a lot of water, and that's why I'm still here today. Skunk Rocker says, "Thank you for your concern, sweetheart. I love you." And Skunk Rocker says, "And while he's not technically synth and only technically a movie composer, Akira Yamaoka is holy crap amazing. His sample abuse is just beautiful. I like that." And Jody McPhee, good to see you, sir. I'm late 9 to 5 issues, or I would have been on time. That's okay. We haven't been talking about much. We just waited till you got here. Glad to see you. 10 o'clock Saturday nights. Check out Eastern time. Check out Jody McPhee because he's awesome. And Hybrid Sons of Gods by the great Luke Stone. Please check out that comic. I love it so dearly. And Skunk Rocker says, and all the tricks that he does to make every single thing he puts out sound like it came from another dimension, which fits Silent Hill so well. It's just, oh my God, it's out there. And Skunk, I completely agree, says Brian Rodman. The latest Lost Themes was absolutely his best. Skunk Rocker continues. Not to mention that, I mean, he was influenced by John Carpenter on at least one song, we know for sure. So there you go. And the Animals, now that I think about it. And I love Doctor Who. Teenage Moon Knight Productions. We have common voice here. I've been a fan of let's put it this way. My doctor is Peter Cushing. Okay, we had a local TV station that showed the Dalek movies over and over and over and over again, and I loved them dearly. But I didn't know much about the TV show. But the first episode I watched, full episode I watched that I enjoyed was well, I didn't. I got a chance to see a couple of Pertwees, but I didn't know anything about the show. I couldn't follow it. But I saw the first episode of Robot with Tom Baker, and I was hooked, and I have been ever since. So glad to see that. And more than powerful stories, you go to Bear Productions, and you're going to get cool comics like this, like Animal Eye from Bear Publications. They're great. And hey, Historical Fencing Guild is coming along well. Send another sample to you, says from the desk of a small press publisher. Ooh, I'm tingly. And Rick Riley says, one of my favorite hotels is Auburn Place. Stayed a week there. I helped open up a pawn shop in Cape Girardeau. Ooh, cool. We stayed at a B&B there. They are no longer on the B&B registry, unfortunately. They got out of it. But it's a lovely old home. The only problem was they hadn't sanded their top floor, and there was a wood floor, and Cookie and I kept getting splinters in our feet because we forgot to bring our house slippers. But I stayed at a lovely one for one called PlaqueCon. It was in Lawrenceville, Illinois. And this darling lady who kept grilling me because she thought it was fascinating. She had an author publisher there. And this was a lady who went over to Israel every 3 months to help with giving medical aid to refugees and stuff. And I'm like, lady, you're a superhero. I want to talk to you. And she's like, oh, it's nothing. I'm like, no, it's not nothing. This is brilliant. This is real life adventure. But she made me such wonderful breakfast that I took a picture of one of them. It was a fresh stuffed toast with fresh blueberry compote on top. And the day before, she had made omelets with a fresh peaches on the side, and she had made the omelet look like little flowers, with asparagus for the stems and leaves. It was, oh my God, she was arson. Such a sweet lady, and beautiful home too. Doctor Who isn't a human, therefore the doctor can be anything. Exactly, Brian, exactly. And Scott Carter says, B-Rod, if you haven't heard of any of Akira Yamaoka's work, I highly recommend looking it up. Actually, it goes for everybody, but you specifically, since you like John Carpenter, you might dig it. Just keep in mind, it's very ambient industrial noise kind of stuff for the most part. Literally the sound of things falling apart, but it has a beat, and you can kind of dance to it. I like ambiance music too. I picked up a couple of Brian Eno albums back in the day that was like that, and I don't say it's my favorite, but I do enjoy it. Roel Cruz is working hard on Animal Eye issue 2, and he will be also lettering the 3 foreign language versions of #1 Cindy Cap. That's brilliant. I hope you can get a chance to offer some of them at your shows, because I'm curious, what languages are you translating them into? I think it's fantastic. That's something a lot of comic producers don't think about. foreign translations. And a lot of when the comic publishers do have contracts, it's all like, well, we promise to publish your book, sign it. But there's a lot more to it. It's amazing how ill-educated a lot of creators are, because there's first North American publication rights, first European, first Australian, first, whatever, secondary, there's spin-offs, there's all kinds of other things. When I was with Terraform Productions, our contract was going to be probably about 20 pages long, because I came from books where we worry about things like that. But there was a certain someone on the board like, well, this thing shouldn't be any more than 2 or 3 pages. You're just putting in minutia. I'm like, it's genuine rights, and if I got a chance to publish my comic overseas, I'm going to take it. So anyway, also I accidentally clicked the anger button. I'm angry, but that's towards my migraines, says Rick Bradley. Oh, dude, it didn't show up. In fact, I'm looking here, and on Facebook, it's none but love, like, and even Robert Beatty has mocked me with his laughter. And Zombies and Oz by Eric S. Hawkins, my favorite comic book. It is great stuff, great reading. Check it out on Comixology. Also, he's got a store on Indiegogo. You can get all 3 issues right now. And I'll have to check it out. Thanks, Skunk, says Brian Robin. Teenage Moon Knight Productions, says Brian Robin. The Doctor can only take the form of a human. The Doctor can be male and female. Yeah. At least as far as we know. Remember, Romana took a form that was vaguely non-human. Humanoid, but not human. Cindy Cap, Kentucky Browncoats go down the rabbit hole with Renmelian.com. We love Renmelian. Mwah, just like we love CKOEPV.com. Historical Fencing Guild, I will say Chibnall had an actual beef with the concepts of not just canon, but continuity in Doctor Who. To paraphrase, quote, there is no reason people should care about the history of a TV show. I don't know about that, especially one where most of the fans seem to know the continuity so tightly. They count how many times he's destroyed Atlantis. So, but no, that's one of the things I did like about Chibnall's run. It's like, we talk about the Cartmel Master Plan, which was a plan during the Sylvester McCoy era, for those of you who don't know, where the script editor felt that we knew too much about the Doctor. That the Doctor should always have some air of mystery about him. And so that's why Sylvester McCoy's last season, he was wearing dark colors, and he started acting very mysteriously, like he was training Ace for something, which according to the master plan, he was. And then the show got canceled back in '89, unfortunately. But that's something they've been very good at since then. And that's, you learn something about the Doctor, and then the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know about him. Like, look at Eccleston. He starts out the episode tormented. He's been in a war. And then it comes out during the season that he fought in this war between the Daleks and the Time Lords. And not only that, he did things he was not very proud of. And then it comes out, yes, the Time Lord, he said, I'm the last Time Lord. I'm the last Time Lord. And eventually it's like he confesses, I'm the one who had to end the war, and I did away with the Daleks, and I did away with the Time Lords. And then we find out the Time Lords are alive, and then you get these things like the Nightmare Child and mentions of other things. Then you find out the Doctor has an incarnation where he cannot call himself the Doctor because he's not a healing person anymore. He's a combatant. And now you've got this thing where maybe the Hartnell version was not his original incarnation, and in fact this person may not even be Gallifreyan, and that just opens up the whole spectrum of Doctor Who. I love it. And I will admit that not all the Chris Chibnall stuff has been as amazing as the Stephen Moffat era, which was my favorite. I love Russell T Davies, so don't get me wrong. His stuff is amazing. But, suddenly we've got a real air of mysteries. I have no idea what's going on. I can't wait to find out. Honestly, my favorite Shyamalan movie is Split. My goodness, it's so good. And that ending was great, says Brian Rodman. I never saw the connection with Unbreakable coming. And I heard his new movie is good, B-Rod. Cindy Cap says the Animal Eye Kickstarter fulfillment is done, except for a few things. A couple last floppies to mail. And does anyone know where to find Four Corners Comics in Cayucas, California? Their webpage is a hard hat zone notice, and I can't find them on social media. Wow. Is there like a phone number? do they have a phone number? Maybe you could just pick up the phone and call them, say you pledged. Would you like your comics? I'm sure they would. And Grant Langer thinks that's good. And Grant, I'm really glad he needs some wins as Brian Rodman. I'll probably go see the new Shyamalan movie just because I'm jonesing to see the movie in the theater. Either that or I'll wait for Suicide Squad. And we got a comment up. I knew it was coming. I could feel it coming on. And we are so far behind. Thank you all for your patience. Fortunately, Cookie doesn't have to go into work today. But if she gets hungry, y'all are on notice. And take care, everyone. I'm going to get ready to try to get my daughter to take a nap so I can take a nap. Yes, join Daddy in a nap. That's what my parents used to do to me. Anyway, Robert, it was good to see you this weekend, man. You stay healthy and stay safe. Love to you and the family. And I want to see M. Night Shyamalan's new movie. Well, then I say go see it. You can do what you want. All right. From the desk of Small Press Publisher, am I the only one looking forward to the She-Hulk series? I will get Disney Plus at that point. I'm interested. I think I'm going to wait like a couple more movies or a couple more TV series, and I'm going to get Disney Plus for a month, and then, sit down and watch all of Loki, watch all of WandaVision, just watch everything, the Winter, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'll just geek out on that for like a month and get it done. And I missed the show, Conan. I missed the last show. Yeah, I don't watch TV very often, so I missed it too. But yeah, I like Conan O'Brien's one of my favorite hosts. I like him a lot. He's good. And all right, now to enter the area with no cell phone service. See y'all on the other side if I make it, Skunk. Good luck, man. He's going in there. Will he come back out alive? And Conan is now Avenger. Seems I made the right decision to stop reading mainstream comics, says Glenn B. Fleming. Yeah, it's like the Dark Avengers. There's like, it's kind of like Richie Rich back in the day. They find a new synonym for money, so they make a new Richie Rich title. Good Lord. It's kind of like now they find a new adjective, and they like what they were doing with Spider-Man and the X-Men. Now they're doing it with the Avengers, and I can't keep up on it, so I've given up trying. I'm currently writing a fanfic about Moon Knight being part of my life as a teenage robot universe. Do this thing. Seriously. Do this thing. This sounds good, man. And Brian Rahman was about that time, my friend. Feed Cookie, and you know what? Feed yourself too. You've earned it. Well, thank you, sir. I don't know that I have, but I appreciate the thought. Have a great day, everyone, and bring Cookie home and laugh like the Shadow. Thank you, brother. Who knows what Cookie's having for lunch? The Shadow knows. I'm ready for my audition. In Comics Talk with Pops Van says, check out the pre-con show we did Friday night with Randy Zimmerman, Peter Cimetti, Frank Forte, and Don Chin, one of the most fun panels I have hosted yet. That does sound cool. I would watch for any one of those people. That would be awesome. And Teenage Moon Knight Production says, I am going to have Moon Knight and my girl XJ9, aka Jenny Wakeman, team up together. That's what fanfic's for, man. Knock yourself out. Seriously. Make it wonderful. Make it something you can read over and over again. And remember, says the Historical Fencing Guild, when it comes to any media, people have the right to be wrong. That's true. And like I say about the First Amendment, you have the right to say anything you want, but you don't have a right to be heard. Anyway, I love XJ9 so much, but she likes to be called Jenny because she wants to feel like a human. And I was reading, like I said earlier, I was reading Forever, the Invader Forever, about the invaders, Prince Namor, Human Torch, Toro, Cap, and what's now the Winter Soldier. And there's one part where the Human Torch gets his android head pulled off his body, and Tony Stark immediately puts him on an Iron Man body, and that's where that's where I left off when I left for the weekend. But now the Torch is like he's Namor just took away, my so-called friend just took away the only part of, that made me feel human. And now all I've got is this body. I'm going to go kick his butt. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, that sounds cool. It sounds like you've got this together, TMKP. That's awesome. I love that. That sounds good, man. That sounds seriously good. 50 Shades of Grey, says Glenn B. Fleming. Yeah, gave up on that one along with Gaiman's American Gods. May give that one another go, however. Now, I liked American Gods. The book. One thing I liked about it, Glenn, was the fact that he traced the hero's travels down along the center of Illinois from like Wisconsin down along Illinois to where, and he got all the geography right. He took the time to do the geography correctly. And it had kind of a different kind of pacing that's very much unlike, the explosive closing ending. And he solved a mystery so subtly. I was like, oh my God, it was right in front of me. Why didn't I think of it? And Historical Fencing Guild gets hysterical on me, says, don't hassle the Hoff. Oh, no. I apologize to all the Hoff gods out there. And I know I'm pretty excited that Marvel is bringing back Darkhawk next month, says Rick Bradley. I liked Darkhawk. I mean, it wasn't one of my favorites, but yeah, I like seeing those old characters come back. Grant Lanker says, remember to live by the immortal words passed down by our forefathers. Don't die, feed Cookie. I'm trying to catch up, my man. I am so far behind because you guys have had such great comments this morning. In less than 20 minutes of feed Cookie. I know, Joe, I'm trying to get there. Joe Dog McKeel, I don't put down people who don't like the movies I do. It's not my fault they have horrible taste in movies. I know, right? I figure they'll come around. And love you, Brian. Have a great day. You too, Grant. You and Angie have a super day, my friend. And Christopher Nolan's Batman movies are awesome. The Dark Knight Rises is my favorite movie of the three. I haven't seen all the last one. I've seen part of it, but not all the last one. I gotta go back and finish that. But no, and that's another example. Christopher Nolan is an A-list director, and he's doing Batman. And it is true to the character. And he's got a great cast, and it ain't a cheap cast either. It's not like he went down to the local community theater and said, "Hey, you look like Alfred. Yeah, come on, lady, let's talk." So, there's room. And if you don't care for the Marvel movies, that's fine. Their existence does not diminish you or invalidate your taste one bit. So, and we will, like I say, as we say around here, we will agree to disagree. But you are more than welcome to your opinion, and I'll read as long as it's civil. And what constitutes a real movie? I know I love the MCU. They have all the elements of great movies, says Rick Bradley. Yeah. And saw that SNL with Chris, hilarious. Good, Glenn B. Fleming. I'm glad. Otherwise, I would hunt it down for you. I saw the filming of Clark falling in the water at Niagara Falls, says Glenn B. Fleming. Now that's awesome. That is totally cool. I love that. From Desperate Small Press Publisher, subjectivity is what it is. Always remember what one man may think is trash is a treasure to another. If you want people to respect what you treasure, then respect what others treasure. And the Ninja Genko just covers it all here. It's not easy being green. The Historical Fencing Guild says, now, if you guys wanted to do a really useful show, do a video on the best practice for getting into cons, set, tear down, best practices for running booths. Well, part of what we did Friday was an experiment. We're going to be doing something like that. We've got several ideas for original content that I'm excited to do, but it's going to take time to set it up properly. But yeah, I'm thinking something where we do a show. And I think I want to do if I can I know how to manage it in StreamYard, but I want to do a show where I present my views on such things such as that and other forums associated with what we do. And then we segue to a discussion about it. Who's on for that? J29, aka Jenny Wakeman, is my favorite cartoon character of all time. She is so cute. It's this teenage Moon Knight production. It's good to love what we love, man. And yeah, I'm glad the comics arrived so quickly and safely. Cindy, you did a great job of packaging that. This is Sarah's not here, so I'm not going to lick the spine. I mean, she deserves to see that, but this has an interesting aroma. It does. It's not unpleasant. It's very chemical, but I like it. It's kind of fun, actually. That's cool. I also saw Chris here in England, says Glenn B. Fleming, when he opened my local cinema. And then again, 2004, where he dropped the ball in New York to let the new year of 2003 in. He probably thought I was stalking him. Love Christopher Reeve. I love his work, too. Death Trap. That is a super movie. Him and Michael Caine with the driest kiss in film history. And I took my mother. I saw it originally by myself, and I took my mother to see it because she likes Michael Caine and she likes Christopher Reeve, and so I took her in. And it was one of those things. She went into the ladies' room halfway through, and there were a bunch of teenage girls crying because Superman was kissing another guy. It was so fun. Dave Mattingly, good to see you, Dave. Good morning. My favorite cult TV show is The Middleman, 2008. I'm not sure I saw that. One of my favorites is one called Legend. It was the guy who played the original MacGyver and John Delancey, and it took place in the 1800s. The hero was an inventor, and adventurer. And Delancey played a dime novelist who was novelizing his adventures. It was great. It only lasted one season on UPN, which I'm the only person that remembers that network, probably. The Historical Fencing Guild says, I think the reason indie feels so much better is because crowdfunding is a heck of a focus group. If it isn't any good, then folks won't back it. Well, you know, I've said before that, and I found this verified, that there are a number of people who, or a number of companies, I should say, who their companies will make create a product and then do a crowdfunding campaign. And it's a way they can see if they have the right price point, the right approach to the advertising, and even if there's any interest in the product at all. And you're right, it makes a great focus group, and it's and they actually might get some money and get this thing off the ground, get some people out there. And let's see, here we go. The Historical Fencing Guild says, for a long time, the Arrowverse on CW dominated in a way the CU couldn't, with DC movies. Hyper gritty makes me mildly depressed. Well, like I said, back in the day, like when I saw Man of Steel, I really loved the movie, and I thought the superhero fight was great, but too much time was spent destroying Metropolis. All I could think of was 9/11. Because that was kind of traumatic for me. And Skunk Rocker says, Historical Fencing Guild, Kung Fury 2 is coming. Currently, what I am most looking forward to. Will Skyler says, I enjoyed what not the DCU and MCU have provided as far as movies thus far. I need to see Black Widow yet. I hope to catch it in theaters rather than give Disney Plus the money for it. Yeah, and definitely make sure that Scarlett Johansson gets that money too. So, and want some low-budget movies, check out 964 Pinocchio. And Skunk Cracker says, yeah, Brian would like 964 Pinocchio. Is it me, Brian, or Rodman? Ryan. Also, Brian, you'd like Danger 5. Look that show up. It's a comedy action spoof series that's low budget and cheesy, and it's great. And I'm writing both those down, guys. Pinocchio. And I know how to spell that. And Danger 5. Thank you, guys. I will check those out. Appreciate the recommends. I really do. Sincerely. Thank you both. And also watch Richard Stanley's movie called Hardware. It's another low-budget film that looks good. Where Richard Stanley. Like I need more distractions. My wife's not going to be happy with you guys. Anyway, but I will be. And Scott Cracker says, and while it's only a few minutes from noon, let's face it, you're running long today. You owe us for Friday. Evil grin intensifies. Oh, you just watch. I'm going to go Bobby Nash on you guys. Oh, Hardware's aesthetic is amazing. I freaking love that movie, says Skunk Crocker. And yo, Teenage Moon, have you seen Death Machine with Brad Dourif? I think you'd like it. And Eight Man After is legendary for the era of ultra-violence, surrealistic anime with titles like Vampire Hunter, Demon City Shinjuku, Robot Carnival, Robot Hunter, Casshern, Venus Wars. Yeah. Well, I love Eighth Man. He also, the guy who did Eighth Man also did a series of Batman comics. Around the time of the camp era. So I just love the whole creative culture over there. I really do. Also, TMKP, if you change your name to Teenage Moon Knight Film Productions, you could sing it to the tune of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon theme. See how helpful everyone is here? And John B. Pica, hey there, friends and foes. I almost missed it. We're running long today, John, obviously. So anyway, good to have you. And it was so good to see you and Dee and to meet Dee this weekend. And you looked beautiful yesterday. You really did. You were a treat. And The Who is fantastic, says Dave Manley. I know, right? It seems I had heard them before, but I didn't know the name of them. But now I know. And so I'm going to be giving myself some rewards. I've got to edit a couple stories today, so we're going to work on that. And Who is Mongol? That's it. Thank you, Donna. Appreciate that. And Scott Clark says, oh, and if nobody knows, I'm back in signal range again. Are you sure? And okay, Skunk, I will see Death Machine. See, this is where we bond. Teenage Moon Knight Productions. And Historical Fencing Guild says, I just realized I'm working and listening. You are talking to a person named Damian. I thought you all had odd opinions on Damian Wayne's run as Robin. I love Damian Wayne. I have enjoyed it. The only one I had issues with was Tim Drake. I like the original iteration of Tim Drake as kind of like a reiteration of Dick Grayson, where, you know, his circus family and history repeating itself, but turning him into a hoodlum. I did not appreciate that. And although it's led to some good stories since then. So, and hashtag death becomes him, hashtag time to feed cooking, hashtag hope she is merciful. Nope, not a bit. She's got that cash. She's going to snuff me like a candle. Anyway, Twin Peaks Bob and a dang fine cup of coffee. See, that's that's probably why I relate to Twin Peaks so much. And we're out of coffee, so I don't have any chewing gum either. And did you guys see the awesome debut of Willow and Keisha on Cryptid Crunch last night? No, I didn't. I was still driving, unfortunately, but I'm going to be watching it today, John. Looking forward to it. That's on the back of the Cereal Box Network, and it's awesome. All their programs are awesome. And time to go get reprimanded. Don't diving cookie. I will submit myself to her cruelty and punishment soon, Donna, I promise. And later, y'all, Donna, love you. Hope you have a great day. And there we go. John B. Pica says you should watch that. I say you should too. John, it was a treat being with you yesterday and over the weekend. You are so awesome. You really are. And Skunk Rocker, it's going to end up being one of those days where he just stops reading the comments and shuts the show down. But hey, what he gets for taking a Friday off. Oh, is that it? I've got to put in a certain amount of pro bono hours for you to give me my certification? What the hell is this? And fair point, Skunk. Don't you start from the desk of a small press publisher. Don't either of you start. Lynn Bush says, okay, I have to get some work done. Have a good one. Bye, Orko. Bye, my darling evil Lynn. Mwah! May the blessings of eternity or eternia reign upon you, my sweet, and love to all the family. I'll talk to you soon, hon, I promise. And we're pent up, Brian. We went 4 days without release, and now you have to clean up the mess. God, are you channeling Christian Basil now? And yes, I did say all this just to make sure Christian was paying attention. Yeah. And at this point, he would have been better off having a substitute on Friday. Well, if I'd known you were volunteering, I'd have let you. No, it was to test a new thing in StreamYard, and it worked. So, yay. Love your secret link for Disturbed Soul Silence or Sounds of Silence review. I love their version. I do too. And I started watching that lady that did. There is a lady on YouTube who is a vocal coach and a singer, real damn fine singer herself. And she does reviews of various rock songs. It sounds like she's got operatic background. But she did one for Disturbed Sounds of Silence, and, you know, it looks like she's having that moment that poets dedicate themselves to describing. You know what I'm saying? And she also did one for Aqualung, and I thought, man, we are covering the spectrum. And it was a live performance. Ian Anderson's hair is wild. He's dressed wild, and he does all the dancing and theatrics and everything. And it was Aqualung. A great, great album. Great music on there. And he is so animated, and she is enraptured by his performance. And she loves Puddle's Pity Party too. She can't get enough of him. I have queued up one that he and Haley, and I can't remember her last name. She was from American Idol. They do a version of Mad World by Tears for Fears. That's a kind of a almost ragtime version, and it's absolutely delightful. And I love Tears for Fears. But she's going to be reviewing Puddles and Haley's Tears for Fears later today in my other computer. And I mean, I get if you wanted to test out the new thing, but at the exact time we desire the nevermore, says Skunk Rocker. Well, I promise I will not leave you again unless I have a damn good reason. But this is stuff that could be useful, Skunk. Wouldn't be surprised if Joe Dog's already working on something with it. But anyway, I thank you for missing me. I did miss doing it, but the logistics wouldn't have worked out, me being live. But anyway, thank you all. I do appreciate your missing me. I miss doing the show too, you know. And from the desk of Small Press Publisher, as time ticks away, I wonder how much wrath Cookie will have for each minute she waits. Hashtag death may come soon, and hashtag time to feed Cookie. Yeah, it'll be like Russ Leach's book. Not even death can save him. Cindy Cap, the foreign languages are Spanish, French, and Portuguese. I don't know if it's Brazil or Portugal Portuguese. That's it. Yeah, that's an interesting and important difference there. But yeah, you know, I would sincerely have Spanish version. I would have a Spanish version on your table. I bet those would go. I seriously do. And back in the Cereal Box says, guess what? We got a troll on our YouTube channel now. Thumbs down on every video almost overnight. You know, one of the one of my candidates for the thumbs down is somebody that I mentioned that we both talked about yesterday, Silent P. Anyway, I think that's the only way he can get back at either of us. He probably just discovered you. Is what it is. If he keeps up, I bet it's him. Historical Fencing Guild, ambiance channels that might help Lo-Fi Girl. Oh, I love that. And Calm by Nature, the Autumn Coffee Shop is a must. There were some synthwave dark channels I have to look up. Yeah, I'm getting into those channels now a lot. No phone or address for Four Corners Comics, just an email Eddie that they haven't answered. I really want to send them their stuff. And Cindy, I understand that you can't find it now. I've tried, but at one point when I was doing my campaign 3.5 years ago, they had a thing in Kickstarter that's concretely said that after a certain time, you are not obligated to fulfill the order. I can't remember if it was 6 months after you send out the survey or a year. I waited a year. I had one person that had not. I had made, and you should make a good faith attempt to contact them as you have. And it could be maybe they're on hiatus, maybe they're on they're taking a vacation. Some places, like my first comic shop I worked in, it was a family-run business. They took a week off in the summer to go on vacation, and we just closed the shop up. It wasn't until I got there and I said, "Hey, listen, just give me a key and let me know where the starter change is, and I'll make deposits and everything, and it'll be like you're here, but just let me keep the store open." And I did, and we started doing it. We became full service after that. So anyway, and no, seriously, today, anyone comes at me today with any attitude is going to get right in the mouth. Good for you, skunk. Push back. Brian, you can deduct all the streaming apps on business expenses on your income taxes. You got that right, buddy. And I pulled the trigger this last week. I now get StreamYard on a yearly basis. And folks, if you get the pro version, you can save $160 a year doing it that way. Savage Avengers, not Dark. There was a Dark Avengers, but Savage Avengers. That's it. And Savage Avengers is a Conan series with appearances by current or former Avengers. Oh dear. And know who had a great con booth back on the cereal box? Yes, you did. He had a freaking memory foam beanbag back there that he invited me to sit in that thing, and I knew I'll still be there. You'd have to bring me food and water, and because man, that thing looks so comfortable. But it was great being on your broadcast that day, John. Thank you for only photographing me from the shoulders up, because I was drenched in sweat. It was so hot down there. That's why he was in a good position. John was dressed as Harley Quinn. He was dressed for the occasion. So, but anyway, it was so much fun being with you, brother. Always a good time. And Cindy got the smell of success in her comic. Oh yeah. That's the smell of accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? And that smell, if they could put that in a cologne, I would be drinking it and bathing in it. Also, I'm sitting here waiting for my scouter to break once Cookie's hunger level's over 9,000. Yes. Varian Grant. Varian, my friend, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Please check out IndieVolt.com, IndieVolt on YouTube and on Facebook. They've got a variety of amazing shows every night, almost every night at 9, and specials at various times during the day. Plus, check out Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with Randy Zimmerman and Daphne Fage, and very frequently Varian himself, as well as review shows, just all kinds of great stuff. Varian, love you, man, and seriously, I haven't had a chance to tell you, but congratulations on getting the IndieVolt Revolts out. Congratulations on Liberty Entertainment, and I'm just so proud of you, man. I seriously am. You deserve all the kudos you can get, and this guy, if I ever decided to get a role model, he's on the list. Seriously. But anyway, Varian, awesome work, man. I'm proud of you fulfilling your pledges and fulfilling our promise as independent creators to our readers. You're a good example for us all. And Varian is now looking for a squeegee to get all my saliva off his backside. And very much thanks for your editing, help, and advice on Animal Eyes, Cindy kept. Thank you, Cindy. It was a pleasure. Thank you for letting me help. It would not have been made to print so soon or so well. Cindy, I just gave the guidance, but the real treat was you. I tell people, and I mean this, Cindy sent me her first draft of her Animal Eye script, and I went through very critically and told her what I felt needed to happen. Then she sent back the second draft, and it was pretty clean. It was really, really clean. And she had one question, and I felt she had made the correct choice, if I remember correctly. Because writing really is like acting. It's a series of choices in reaction and approach. It can get very technical, but Cindy nailed it. And I told her at the end of the last draft of the first issue of Animal Eye, don't send me the next draft. Just send it straight to your editor. You've got this. And I am so proud of you, Cindy. You really, I've tried mentoring other people in comic writing, and they never got it. And in fact, I have a couple people, their drafts actually got worse as they went on because they were following my advice, but not the way I gave it to them. Like I had one person that sent me, like the comic we were working on was like, about 24 pages. Her first one was like a script for a 25-page book. And each, page had something like 15 panels on it with about 300 words in each panel. And I said, no, you need to break this up. So then she started adding pages and breaking things up. And it's just like, no, it's getting worse and worse. And plus there were some things inside the script. I said, this has got to go. Let's just say it's the sort of stuff that will get you canceled. And in fact, I'll join them in helping cancel you. Really unsavory stuff. And I said, this has got to go. It doesn't fit the book. It doesn't fit the world. And they refuse to do it. So I'm glad I'm out of there. I will say it kind of set me up for, it made it easier to leave Terraform because I'd gone through that. And Will Schuyler says, well, folks, it was great waking up with you. I'm always glad to be waking up with you, Willow. I got to start my shift now. Chat with you all later. Willow, have a great day, sweetheart. And congratulations on Cryptid Crunch. I'm looking forward to seeing that today. And I know it's going to be awesome. And Damian Wildburn says, have a great day, everyone. Everyone's abandoning me. I can feed Cookie. Thank God. Thank you all. Damian, thank you very much for your video. I still love it. I'm almost hoping I need it soon. And Cindy Camp, Disturbed Sounds of Silence is fantastic. It is. Oh, my God. Oh, and I heard a story. I saw a short video with the members of Disturbed, and it turned out that when Paul Simon, the writer, the original artist, one of the original artists on the original recording, heard that, he shared the link on, like the iTunes link on his homepage. And I guess he saw them at some sort of function and went up to them and thanked them for doing the song and said, I really love that. That was great. And said it was his favorite version ever. And, you see all these, the guy, you see the lead singer, he's got this great big grin on his face. He's like a kid. It was great. Anyway, I agree with you, Cindy. Scott Crocker says, okay, I don't know if you're still doing the show at this point because I'm way behind due to the cell service issue, but if you're still reading comments, don't die feed Cookie. I'm working on it. We're getting caught up. We're getting close. Thanks for running along today. We missed you, man. And we're glad that you had a good time at the Superman celebration. You two have a wonderful day. And I just got to slog through the next few hours. Skunk, you can do this, my man. Just know that seriously, man, I love you, man. You are awesome. You are a super, super presence here. And I'm so glad we've discovered each other. But first, it's burger time. I agree. And Jake Lindsay, being an illusionist is choices. Also, which script you're going to do, how many tricks you're going to perform, which songs you're going to use, etc. Yeah, Jake. And I'm sorry you missed me the other day, and I'm glad you figured out I wasn't here. Anyway, it's good to see you, Jake. And when I received Russell Allen's Zenon and I Titan, says Rick Bradley, Aliana immediately grabbed CV it and smelled the book and said, it smells good, Daddy. And continued to smell it over the past few days. She was also smelling my one of my table dressings too. Apparently she's going to be a very olfactory kind of girl, and that's awesome, Rick. And speaking of awesome, thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. I'm sorry you missed me on Friday. I missed you too, believe it or not. But we had a good time, and we hope you have a great Monday morning. Now, tomorrow night, we'll be on Clever Tile Pending with Charles Santino. Also, don't forget tomorrow morning. I think Ted may be taking the month of August off. He's got some business he's got to work up. I think he's announced it, but I know he's going to take at least part, if not all, of August off. And we wish him luck in his endeavors. No, he's not leaving the network. He's just got some personal items to deal with. But we still have other bits of stuff you can watch on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Like I said, tomorrow night we'll have Charles Santino, ex-Marvel writer and current writer of a great independent comic book you will like. And we're going to talk to him. Please bring your questions, or it's going to be a real short show. And also, don't forget Legend of the Traveling TARDIS at 6 p.m. with Christian Basil and Melanie Dean and company. And they're going to talk about Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker have formally announced they're leaving Doctor Who after the next season. What's up? What's up with that? What the heck's going on? And what's going to follow them? Let's find out together tomorrow night. And Wednesday, we've got all kinds of cool stuff. I'll be back live on Wednesday on Nevermind the Furthermore. So please come see me then. And also, people that see me are my Patreon supporters. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators directly, financially, for a very small monthly stipend. Even $1 a month gets you something. If you want to find out what your rewards can be, chat in the various levels. We only have 3. They're very modest. Go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and find out. And also, if you need a great book cover to sell your book or a book trailer at very affordable prices, you need this is a job for Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics when the look of your book matters to you. Do you dig powerful book covers? Well, then check out mine. This is by Plasma Fire Graphics. It's number 4 in the short series of Snow Short series. Excuse me, not Snow in Your Shorts. That had felt pretty good over the weekend. It's Snow Ambition, a quick read crime thriller in the world of Abraham Snow, created by BobbyNash.com. Check it out. It's 99 cents on Amazon, but you definitely want to check out also the Facebook page for Plasma Fire Graphics, PlasmaFireGraphics.com. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it matters to your readers. And I think that is it. So everyone, thank you for indulging me today. Thank you for indulging me on Friday. That was very useful, very helpful. And I got to my destination safely and back. And hope you have a great Monday. It looks like we're going to get a little nicer weather today here in the Midwest, and hope the air clears up for all of us. So take some time today and just give someone a smile. Make it a better day for everyone so easily. And so, folks, we're going to sign off now as soon as I find my closer. And we're going to run a few messages at the end, so stay tuned. There's just some people I think you need to pay attention to because they're awesome, and we love them, and we love you. Thank you for missing me on Friday. I did miss you guys. I did miss doing the show, but I promise we'll be back Wednesday. We will be live, waiting for your comments and your criticisms. And thank you to our new subscribers. We're at 560 as of this morning. Please tell your friends. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, please like this video if you've enjoyed any part of this. And if you haven't already, please like the page you're watching on, whether it's Kathy Jackson's books, the Rising Tide Broadcast Network's page, or Rising Tide Publications page. We appreciate you all. Also, please sign up for my monthly newsletter. The new issue went out yesterday at 5:15 p.m. and people liking it, and we have some questions we had to ask you. But if you want the next issue, check out this address. You'll find a link at the top. Sign yourself up, or send me your email address via Facebook Messenger, and I will sign you up personally. Anyway, we got that done, and we're ready with our outro, and so everything's in place. We hope everything's in place for you to have a great Monday, and we hope it carries on through the rest of the week. I definitely need that second cup of coffee. Everyone, thank you for being here. Love you all. Hope you have a great Monday. Make it a fun day, and we'll see you later. Remember, always stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great day. See you Wednesday on a live edition of Nevermind the Furthermore. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Nevermind the Furthermore, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. If you enjoyed any part of this show, please give it a like or a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Nevermind the Furthermore.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP.com today.
Now, every Sunday morning, longtime independent comics creator and Indie Volt podcaster Randy Zimmerman hosts a discussion on the lighter side of comics, the more whimsical and fun comics out there, on the Sunday Funnies. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on Indie Volt, indievolt.com, the Indie Volt YouTube channel, and the usual Indie Volt sites on Facebook. Listen in, won't you? Participate in the chat. Let's have some fun. See you there.
Secrets, trust, worth. The bond between souls intertwined within otherworldly intrigue. Michaela Jade brings forth the Elite Warrior series, a collection of dark fantasy romance novels set in a twisted world where power lusts in the hearts of men and devotion seduces the souls of women. Warrior's Secret, Warrior's Trust, and Warrior's Worth. Available now at authormichaelajade.com.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
This is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Also catch us on the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. Subscribe today and become part of the legend.
From author Brian K. Morris comes a classic hero in a high-flying, fast-paced, and action-packed steampunk adventure. The original Skyman battles the Master of Steam with an introduction by comics icon and historian Roy Thomas. A Rising Tide, an Ace Comics publication. Available now in print or digital format on Amazon.com.